What is up, guys? Zach Ginn here.
Rick Ginn here.
And in today's video, we are doing a live sales role play. We are role playing live. Everything you need to know about the entire sales, cold calling, acquisitions, objections, any type of process. We're going to do some live role plays with you and me. We're also going to do live role plays with the people and really share exactly everything you really need to know about closing sellers, doing deals, wholesaling real estate, pretty much everything from A to Z, the entire process. So we're going to do some role plays so you know exactly how to do it the right way. We're doing a quick audio check. So seems pretty good. So yeah, guys. So what we're doing is we're just do some role plays. You know, we're going to sort of go into the trenches of wholesaling real estate more or less and talk about exactly how to do it, what happens when you go with this situation with the seller, that situation, and everything you must know for wholesaling real estate success, guys. We're ready to go. We're excited. We're going to break it all down. So before we get into it, do me a big favor. Make sure you smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, comment below your questions. And also, guys, we do have our one-on-one link. So if you want to hop on today and maybe even participate in the role play, we won't tear you up. But if you think you're experienced, we'll put you through the fire. Make sure to see what you can do, and we'll break it all down. So without further ado, let's get into it. Let's get jacked up, and let's teach some wholesaling real estate role plays. Woo!
Get the fuck out of bed, bitch. Go. Get up, again, they got go. Time to wake up, bitch, get up. Get up, get up.
We are live, guys. We're ready to go. So what we're going to teach today, guys, is just do some role plays. We're going to go over everything and really, so you know exactly how to close your sellers, talk to sellers, and get up, guys. So that's the point. That's what we get jacked up for. That's what we talk about. So really, we're going to talk about what to say to a seller, how to talk to a seller, how to talk to cash buyers. We're ready to go. We're excited. So I think a lot of people, they hear a lot of influencers or gurus talk about, you know, what to say to a seller, but as you know, when you're actually in the trenches, right? When you talk to a real seller, those really nice fake scripts are nothing like a role play or nothing like when you're actually talking to a legit seller, right?
They get ripped to shreds, man.
They get ripped to shreds.
True, man. Like people just like yank you all over the place, and everyone's like, "Try this." All right. Everybody wants to be an armchair quarterback. The best way to prepare for these sellers is really role play because. Like when you truly do role play, especially with us, you don't know what's going to come out of our mouth because that's what happens with sellers. You can try to plan for everything. In my opinion, there's only 5 or 6 objections they can ever have. And once you understand them, you can easily overcome them.
I agree. So that's what we're going to do today, guys. We're really going to break down everything you need to know, especially when it comes to this. So we're excited. We're jacked up for this today. So we're going to break it all down. So let's kind of talk about this. Let's get into it and let's sort of share everything we know. So the first thing you got to understand about before we get into the role plays here is like when you're talking to a seller, when you're having a conversation with the seller, right? What is the process? What are we talking? So we're talking pretty much MCTP, right? MCTP. So remember that acronym, guys, when it comes to talking to a motivated seller in wholesaling real estate, MCTP. So let me just move this back a little bit. But yeah, guys, MCTP. So what does MCTP stand for when we're talking to these motivated sellers, right? So it stands for 4 main objective things. So when I'm talking to a seller, when I'm having a conversation with a seller, when I'm just having in general wholesaling real estate a conversation, what do I say, right? And so we got to think of that MCTP. That stands for motivation, condition, time frame, and price. So just understand when we're going through the sales process in wholesaling real estate acquisitions, we're focusing on those 4 key things. And how do I ask them, right? Remember, motivation. Mr. Seller, why are you looking to sell the property? Condition, can you tell me a little bit about the property? Roof, AC, does it need repairs? time frame. Can you tell me when you're looking to sell the property? Are you looking to sell the property within a month, a week, couple weeks? Like what's the situation with that? Price, how much they're looking to sell the property for, right? Those are the 4 main questions we are asking with our motivated sellers. And it's very important we ask these things, because if you don't ask these things the right way, you're going to get a lot of trouble, right? And because this is when the regular script that you are used to listening to, you're going to get torn up if you don't ask the right questions. And if you don't make the flow of the conversation sound good, like you're not going to seem like a professional when it comes to just buying properties, right? And so asking those key points is a way for you to get more professional when it comes out here talking to sellers.
Plus, it's like a cheat sheet. It's like a fail, because
yeah,
I don't know about you, but like when I've gone on seller appointments, I don't have this script like sitting in front of me.
No.
So you got to put something in your head that's a fail safe. Okay. Very simple, that if something hits the fan, you know what I'm talking about, you can still rely on yourself to get it done, especially for you guys that are brand new. And you're like, because the reality is you're going to get some butterflies and you get some nerves. That's okay. You want to get uncomfortable because you want to make a change in your life. So simplify it. MCTP, the worst case scenario, you walk in your first appointment, as long as you get through those 4, you can figure out if there's going to be the right motivation to decide if it's worth pursuing for a wholesale deal. Always remember, if you do not have a motivated seller, you will not get a good wholesale deal. Honestly, it's not even really considered a wholesale deal. And once you understand that, you won't spend your time wasting it with people that need realtors. Remember, you're looking for a small percentage of the market. And if you admit it and you understand it up front, it's easy. MCTP almost sounds like a car part. If you lie on it, it's like, okay, if so worst comes to say, have you ever gone just like this? Occasionally, guys, I'm just going to tell you, you're going to go blank. Have you ever gone blank? Someone's like, people are pressuring you, go, you can just go in your head. Don't do it with your lips. Just MCTP.
Have it written down. Think about it, right?
And then that way you go through it. Okay, I got the M, I got the P, I got the time frame. That's right. Hey, Mr. Seller, and that's just how you do it. Because a lot of times these sellers, they'll answer the time frame first, and it's going to throw you guys off. You're like, oh man, what do I do? And remember, don't panic. It's only 4 letters. Okay, it will save your deal, especially when you're new, because you guys are going to get butterflies. You're going to get nerves. I want you to understand, if you understand this acronym, it will save you in the beginning. 3 months from now, you won't even like think about it anymore. But I'm just telling you, I wish somebody taught me when I first started, because I was all over the board. You were better. I was terrible.
It's a mess, right? So like, you just got to remember, if you don't have that, you're going to get some trouble. So it's very important that you remember that acronym. So it'll help you out a lot. So let's kind of go over some role plays with you and me. And then we're going to go over with some of the people and really see if there's anything else we can, help the people out with. But that's really the point of today, and really the point of the conversations we're having today. So let's kind of start with some of the easier role plays and go to some harder ones, then the closings, everything like that. I think it'll help the people out. So let's kind of explain this the best way, guys. Remember, on the top corner right here, freewholesaling.com. That's basically our free real estate wholesaling course, where we teach wholesaling real estate for free. Everything we talk about is in there. So let's talk about this, right? Let's get into it. So the first type of role play we can talk about is like cold calling, right? Because I think everyone saw me Tuesday doing a bunch of those cold calls with live sellers. And the coolest thing about it is, like, when we're talking to live sellers, when it comes to cold calling, it's really the same conversation. If you really look at it at the end of the day, I'm just having the same MCTP, and then I'm basically seeing if they can lower the price at all. And I'm really focusing on the motivation. So when we're cold calling, when we're doing some role plays for cold calls today, it's like, how do I get the right cold call? It all comes down to having the right script, having the right conversation, figuring out the MCTP, building a little rapport, and then seeing if they can go down in price or not, right?
We should have a jingle for MCTP. There's got to be a few musicians on here. You know how what's the famous jingle where you really remember, like, Nationwide is on your side. Like, people come up with acronyms like, so if anybody's creative, then let me know, dude. I would love to post that.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe make a rap song out of it. MCTP.
We'll go do that. But
MCTP.
Yeah, guys. So
you know me.
Oh my God.
Okay, never mind. Now I'm showing my age.
No, it's not bad. So let's do a quick role play. Let's do one for cold calling and really talk about it, because I think cold calling, It's an interesting one because I think so many people really overhype it, right? And you just got to keep it simple. So let's do a quick role play for cold calling. And then if you guys have any you want to do, we'll put you on too. So let's
that'd be fun. That's what you got to do, man. Role playing is it, guys. It's the closest thing you can get to dealing with a live seller, in my opinion.
yeah, that's it. So we're gonna do a cold call and we're gonna see it. And let's do it. You ain't gonna be any harder than the Delaware people. I'll tell you that. Those people in Delaware are nasty.
Yeah.
Hey, there were some nasty sellers. Boston, holy moly.
Oh, well, Boston.
Those Bostonians, they are nasty sometimes.
I think Boston and like Philly are like the two towns that could eat you alive. Like,
And they're mean.
it's just a different caliber of people, man. It's cold. It's tough. They've had a tough history from the get-go, and it's like they're used to it. And well, other than Boston's recent football successes, but those days are over with Tom Brady.
All right, let's get into it.
Let's do it.
Ring, ring, ring.
Hello.
Hello, hi. Is this the owner of 123 Main Street?
Yeah, who's this calling?
This is Zach. I had a quick question. Are you looking to sell the property?
I mean, I consider it.
Okay. Well, can you tell me a little bit about the property?
I mean, it's your, it's your typical 3-2 ranch home. I've had it for 20 years, and you call me, dude.
Yeah. So the reason I'm calling you is me and my partner are looking to buy some more properties in the area for cash. And that's why I was sort of asking you why you were looking to sell the property. I just wanted to get a little more information on and see if it'd even be a right fit. So we are looking to buy properties for cash, but obviously we're not looking to buy every single one. You know, if it works for us, it's in our criteria, we'd be looking to buy it. So you said it was a 3-bedroom ranch house?
Yeah, that's what the realtor told me when I bought it.
Okay. So, I mean, tell me a little more about it. Like,
dude, it's just like your regular house. I'm like,
Okay.
it's good. It's not perfect, but it's good. Like, but just, what's going on with the market these days is like, my wife told me just to list it with a realtor, but the problem is I'm the guy who has to do all the repairs and the painting. And I'm a little concerned about like the financing, the inspections, and then, dude, I'm the guy who has to go out and paint the house and do all the last 5-10 years of stuff I told my wife I was doing, but I didn't do.
I get it, right? So if you want to list with a realtor, I know plenty. You probably know plenty of realtors, right? You can just go.
I didn't say I wanted to. My
you
wife
can go
made a
list it.
recommendation of it, but I'm like, listen, the only reason I'm hearing you out because I don't want to go through the pomp and circumstance of the whole like realty thing. You have an offer in mind?
Yeah. So I need to ask a little more questions. Sort of like buying a car. You got to test drive it. I kind of have to go put eyes on the property. So yes, you can list the property if you want. What we basically do is we just buy it cash. I mean, it's ultimately up to you, but I don't even know if this is the right fit for us. So you kind of asked how the market is. The market's getting a little weird right now. Interest rates are going up. Prices are going.
I'm hearing some stuff.
They're going down. They're going down a little more. So
when do you think the market will come back?
I don't know. I wish if I had a crystal ball, I don't think I'd be buying properties.
Well, I mean, if you could make me an offer, something I can convince my my old lady to do, it's like maybe I can get past. I don't want to do the realtor thing, for the record. Don't keep pinning the realtor thing on me. I don't want to do it because I've got hundreds of hours to work on this house to get it up to that par, and I don't want to do it.
I get that. Well, I mean, my first question is, we always get it, happy wife, happy life. Is she on board on selling too?
The kids are gone. The house is a little bit bigger than what we need, and we're kind of getting to that time. So we probably like to just do like a simple condo or something like that. So we've talked about it, but like, once again, we were trying to figure out what we get for the house. And I told you my biggest problem, dude, it's like, I got to do the dang repairs on this house. And I'm just telling you, I don't want to do it. So if I could bring a sensible offer to her, I mean, I'm open to it. I'm not committing to it, but I'm open to it.
Okay. So she's not giving you an okay to sell, or she's interested yet?
We just, to be honestly, we're just in preliminary talks. I'm being straight up forward.
That's fine.
On it.
I just don't want to give you an offer, go by the property, and then spook her. The worst thing possible is like, I show up to the house and she's like, honey, who's this?
Yeah.
And then we got that, because when I go to the house, like, we're ready to go buy it. So what I think we should do is, I think you should have a conversation with her, and we kind of talk about it a little more.
Can you call her for me?
I call her for you. You guys can come on a conversation with us. But like,
Yeah, you don't want to do that, dude. I'm being honest with you. Like, listen, we discussed it. It's interesting. I'm kind of taking your call at the time. I want to do it. I just got to have a realistic conversation with her because she's leaning towards listing it, but she doesn't understand. I probably got $30,000-$40,000 worth of work to do with the house. And be honest, I haven't really broke it to her yet. So I got to talk to her about it. So like, I would be interested in like a cash offer. So I didn't have to go through that pomp and circumstance, but can I have a discussion with my wife? Like, is there a way we can like reconnect?
I think one thing we can do is I'm going to go, let me look at the property here because I did not do a full analysis of it. I want to see if it's the right fit for me and my partner. And I want you to talk to your wife, see if possibly a cash offer is the right fit, right? I mean, worst case scenario, right? It doesn't work out for us, but what I want to do is just make sure she is interested and then I can come by and see it, right?
Okay.
And if everything works out, we can buy the property cash. If it doesn't work out, no big deal. You can go list the property, right? Obviously, just want to understand since it's cash, there's no commissions at all. You're saving 6%, title issues. You don't know what the market is going to be in the next future, right? Just understand this. You know, I'm not.
Listen, I'm a guy. I just want certainty in my life. I want to get it done. So I just have to have a discussion with her. So if you could give me like a day or two.
Yeah, that's fine. Just understanding that everyone wants to sell their house now before interest rates keep going up. So give me a call back sooner than later because
I got it. I'm gonna call you tomorrow. Okay. So if is this the best number to call you back at?
Best number to reach me back at. I mean, we don't have $5 million to buy all this stuff, right? So like we only got a couple properties we can buy every month. So everyone's saying yes, but this is an area we like. So talk to her.
Well, I'm going to make this top of mind because I got to figure this out. So I'm kind of glad you called because I just don't want to get killed if the offer's too low, if you know what I'm saying.
I get it. I get it. Well, I mean, what's too low to you?
We've had a preliminary discussion. So, we owe about $150 on it. I saw a Zillow number says worth like 3 and change, but I don't think I'm going to be getting that number. So it's, we're thinking like, I don't know, like mid twos. I'm just honestly, I'm kind of guessing at this point, Zach, but like her expectations 250, honestly. If I could get like 225, 230, not do the work, that's where I'm at. So you kind of, but dude, don't tell my wife this because I got to have a conversation with her.
Have a conversation with her.
Okay.
And then get back with me and I'll wait your call.
So where do you think the number might lie? Like what you give me an offer?
I really wish I can go and look at it. I mean, I have to go see it, right?
I got it.
I have to test drive it and look at it. So have that conversation with her, get back to me and we'll see what we can do from there.
Okay, if I don't call you back, it means my wife pretty much, put me in the backyard.
Well, if she says no, give me a call too. I'd like to still know.
Okay. I appreciate it. I appreciate your honesty on it. Let me just have a conversation with her and then we can have a real conversation with this on the numbers.
Sounds good. Appreciate it.
Okay. Thanks, Zach.
That sounded like a Guru live cold call where they have the grandma on the other line recorded. That's too easy. I'm telling you, that's the thing. It sounds like the average cold call when the Guru's like friend is on the other line. That was good though.
But the biggest problem is they just weren't. You didn't have the right decision makers and they weren't ready.
No, the average person would give an offer and do all,
But once you give them an offer, like there's no point in giving someone like that an offer.
Yeah.
It's like everyone's like, oh, you got to make an offer. I'm like, you're wasting your time giving that person an offer. A lot of people we talk to are just not ready to sell, and that's okay. But you got to be, if the motivation's there, the seller wants to sell, then you have an opportunity. But remember, you're going to get calls you're going to get people you call like that all the time. So do not give an offer to someone that is just, they have no idea what they want to do with the property because it's just a waste of time.
I agree.
You haven't looked at it. You haven't done anything.
Yeah.
And the only other line I add to that is like, listen, Mr. Seller, for me to give you the best offer, give the best offer, I've got to come out and look at the property and look at everything going. So I'm not doing you a service by giving you an offer over the phone. Would you agree? Like, dude, people they think you're up to something shady when you make an offer and you don't look at the property.
Yeah.
I can tell you how many times I've told like realtors, sellers, they go, did you go by and look at the property? Like, oh, what's the lockbox? And they'll test you on it. So there's something about when somebody looks at the property. Do you know how hard it is just to buy a piece of property without it's
crazy.
Could you buy a car without looking at it? So you make a good point with that. So
no, that's the honest thing. So the one thing I could tell you is like, once I hear the word like wife or like, and she's on the phone and then it comes to decision making, you do not want to waste your time, right? And I think that's an issue a lot of people have starting out is they try to just jam an offer down someone's throat. And really, I'm a lot more laid back with that. And that's how, like on Tuesday, I was able to close so many people just because I was like, I don't have to buy this thing, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, see, I knew that price didn't work. And I just tried to negotiate the best price possibly could. It ended up working really well, right? And that's sort of the point we're talking about today. And that's sort of the point we're talking. So like for the cold calls, it's like I'm having a conversation and I'm just trying to get someone to say yes or they're interested, right? And really, I could have gone through MCTP and all the stuff, but like I just went through the flow, right? And there's no script that talked about that specific role play we just did. There's not one script that ever talks about that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think so many people get that confused, right?
Yeah.
So that's sort of what we're talking about today. That's sort of how we do the cold calls. I think the first thing we should understand about cold calling is in cold calling, the point of the cold call is not to close somebody. And I think that's the thing people really get confused. We are not here to go close somebody on a cold call. Our point for cold calling is to find someone that wants to sell their property, get some information, and bring it over acquisitions to close. You're not going to close. For most cold calls, we're not selling like anything, right? We're buying a house, and most people can't go from call to decision all in one day. That's more of a bandit sign, direct mail type thing.
Yeah.
They're going to need some time, right? And you're going to need some time to gather some data because you don't have all the data on the property. So I think that's very, very important. There's a lot of objections with cold calling that we can kind of bring that we've always had to deal with, right? Like number one, what's your offer? What's your offer? What's your offer? And I kind of talked about from there, you kind of brought that up. It's like, well, it's sort of like a car. You know, I have to test drive it. It's like when you remember buying a car, you bought a car. Yeah, you had to test drive. I have to look at it. You know, I don't know. Maybe it's worth a lot more. Maybe it's worth a lot less. I literally have no idea. And I think so many people really get that confused. So what we're going to kind of go through now is sort of the next leg on this, right? The next type of role play. And that is kind of building rapport. That's something that I call you more the expert than anyone else on this, is just building rapport with the seller. Because when it comes to building rapport, so many wholesalers, they feel like they really force it. And it drives me crazy that all these wholesalers try to force rapport down everyone's throat. And I don't get it, right? So like building rapport, it's all about one thing, right? Asking questions. And I think so many people get that confused when it comes to building rapport, even a role play on building rapport. You just got to ask the right questions, and then you're going to get the best results. And it's all about building rapport, right? So like, what are some of the questions that you ask to build rapport with the seller?
Well, the easiest thing I do is try to find commonality. And that's the challenge when you're on the phone, because you can't see them. You can't see pictures. You have to go on a little bit of like a fishing excursion. So most sellers will volunteer information for you. I'm going to add one thing to rapport. To build real rapport, you have to be authentic. You know, those cheesy people ever try to build rapport with you? Like, you're going to see it a lot when you go like buy a car. They just like start rubbing rapport. If it's fake, it will rub you the wrong way and you will alienate them. And you try to build rapport's got to be authentic to a point. Otherwise, you are just a robot and a machine. So you just got to try to like just talk. And just by saying like, hey, how's your day going? Sometimes they'll go like, my day's fantastic, or it's okay, or it's brutal.
Yeah.
And that's when I was like, hey, what's going on? Just what's keeping you down? Like, maybe I can cheer you up. And just talk. The idea is to get them to talk. And like, well, you know, my Sally went this and my daughter's doing that. And I'm like, oh yeah, man, I got kids. I know how that works, man. Kids can be a real pain in the butt, you know. Just striking it like, yeah, you got kids. And like, yeah, I got two of my own. What ages are your kids? And before you know it, you're having a conversation with somebody who was ice cold. The idea is, guys, if you don't get past that initial defense, you ain't getting a deal. Okay. Tell me, if you go out and talk to a stranger, there's always a tension when you talk to someone you don't know, right? It's just natural. So unless you're at like a football game and you're on the same side, like you're okay, we're all wearing Dolphin shirts. I'm not talking about it. Just approach a stranger. This is great practice for building rapport with people. Approach a stranger and have a conversation. Be safe. I'm not telling you to do it like in the middle of the night, but like if you're at work, go approach someone you've never talked to and just have a conversation. If you guys are going to a party tonight, go strike up a conversation with someone you've never talked with. Unless you get that rapport, which is kind of energy,
Yeah.
You are a dead man, dead lady walking, because without it, it's defense. Who are you? What do you want? Why are you talking to me? Do I know you?
Yeah.
And just like that's the initial defense. And once they go, no, I know your cousin Joe. Remember Joe? Like, oh yeah. And all of a sudden it's like, dude, how you doing? And then you might even get a hug. And it happens all the time. You've got to find a way to break that defense.
Yeah.
Okay. And then what rapport is the magic. The key here is it has to be authentic. If it's fake, cheesy car salesman stuff, you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. I tell every one of you on this, you've got to be yourself. Don't try to be me. Don't try to be Zach. Use your superpowers God gave to you and have fun with it. Okay.
I agree.
Period.
That rapport is all about asking questions and being authentic. And it's like asking questions you actually care about.
Mm-hmm.
And I think so many people get that confused. Now, obviously, there's too much rapport you can build with somebody. And to a point, we're not best friends with this person, right? But like, we're just trying to get enough to go through it. And I think you got to keep the conversation to the point where it's like, hey, at the end of the day, I'm still trying to buy your house. I'm not trying to be your friend.
Correct. So the one of the other things you got to understand, rapport has to transition into the process. And I was guilty. Yeah. Sometimes even still guilty now is you let rapport keep going on and you get like in this cycle and you can't get out of it. So just use a transition and go, listen, I could talk to you all day. You are a wonderful person. I could talk about our kids all day, but remember what I came here to do. We're going to talk about your house. So I've already kind of got to know you. Let's learn a little bit about the house and we're going to sit down and have a conversation and see if we can make a win-win situation sound fair. And then go in and start asking questions about the house. So if you find yourself, what happens, you get rapport, you start to get comfortable. You're uncomfortable, turn to comfortable. And then you just, to avoid the confrontation, it's easy to stay in the rapport zone and you got to get out of it. So if you find yourself, if you spend more than 10 minutes with a seller talking about like that, have a transition phase. Go, oh, listen, I could talk to you all day, but I told you I wouldn't take more of an hour of your time. Remember, we're here to talk about the house. So at the end, we'll pick this up. But let me ask you a few questions about the house, and then we'll see if we can strike a deal. So in the beginning, I used to talk to them all day long. So I don't want you going like 2 and 4 hours, 10 minutes. Honestly, past 10 minutes, rapport will backfire on you because now you become their buddy and you haven't talked about the house and you're going to lose some credibility. And remember, here's the secret. At the end of the conversation, you can go back and do as much rapport as you can. I actually recommend it because it'll solidify your deal. And they're like, remind them like, oh yeah, we're buds. At the end, you should walk away and go, dude, Zach or Rick, they're my buddy. And then, so you're kind of sandwiched. You rapport in the beginning, rapport at the end. In the middle, you're going to the meat. Like you're going to go into negotiations and there's going to be some banter back and forth and you want to polish it up. So don't get stuck, what I call in like the friend zone, like talking. Because 10 minutes turns into 20, 20 turns into 40, and then you lose all sight. And then the guy's going to take a phone call or the gal, and they're going to take off on you. So transition, figure out what your transition word is. I always say, listen, I could talk to you all day about so-and-so, but I initially came here, let's get the house thing out of the way. And then if the problem, dude, we're going to be like best friends.
Yeah. That's the way I do it. Right. So you kind of go through the questions to ask for rapport. So the reason why I brought up rapport here is when you get into the next part here is so you understand the questions. So we get into it. So what's the next type of role play here? Just the appointment, right?
Okay.
And so we can kind of go through the role play of an appointment, right? And there's sort of two appointments, right? There's the virtual appointment and then there's kind of the in-person. I think this is a lot better for, honestly, I would probably say it's better for in-person than anything. So we can kind of just do a quick role play on pretty much the appointment in person, right? Okay. So let's sort of go over it, right? I guess I'll be the seller, you'll be the wholesaler, and we can pretend like we're looking through a house. And then obviously, the appointment, like showing you around, looking at it, asking questions, but like we can kind of break down. So let's kind of start at the introduction, right?
Okay.
The knock, 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 hello, and then we go from there, right? Like from your past 20 years, when you went on the house, what's the first 2 sentences that came out of you, right? Like that's
okay. So now I'm recalling this, guys, because I don't do appointments every day. I do them on like a different level, but so we're showing up for an appointment.
Like you're showing up.
It's a booked appointment.
It's booked. You've already talked to me. We got a little talking going. How do you begin the like knock, knock, knock?
So the first thing when I step on the door, I always take 4 or 5 steps back because Dude, people are weird. I'm sorry. Like,
Oh, yeah.
sometimes a dog will come out at you, a little kid will come out to you, a llama will come out. I've had pigs come out.
Yeah.
I've had it all. I've had a raccoon come out, a pet raccoon, really cool.
Chimps, right?
I've had a chimp.
You've had a chimp. Yeah.
I've had macaws. So expect the unexpected.
It's Florida. What do you expect?
And so, like, the first thing I do is I step back, just it's a sign of respect. I say, hey, listen, and then I'm going to confirm I'm talking to the right person.
Yeah.
And then usually it's going to be one or two ways. They're like, you're going to get a super greeting. God, Rick, come on in. If you did your job on the phone, that's a good sign. And I don't know about you guys. I did a lot of appointments. When this guy was little, I did a lot. Safety was a big issue with me because I told you people are a little strange. If you see aluminum foil on the windows, you see boarded up windows, the first thing I do is I look for an exit strategy if all heck were to break loose. But that's just me. I mean, so I'm looking for them to invite me in. And remember, it's their home. It's their home turf. They write the rules until we get to the negotiation table or the part where we're going to recertify their pain. And so I kind of let them lead in the beginning. And then, so what I like to do is get the tour out of the way. They all want to give you a tour of the house. Okay?
Yeah.
Here's a hint. It's boring. It's terrible. So when you're doing a tour, you can't look at the house like you traditionally look at it if you were going to buy it or live in it, anything like that. The first clue I'm looking for pictures. I'm looking for any memorabilia, if they like collect old classic cars. And I look around, 9 times out of 10, it's mostly family pictures. I can figure out how many kids they have. And remember, you're walking to every room, they're showing it to you.
Yeah.
And then you guys got to get in the habit of looking up. Roofs are probably the most important thing you look at a house.
Leaks.
So I'm looking for stains initially. I'm like every room. And the sellers don't see you doing this because you need to know. And then you just look at it. Remember, they are so used to their house, they don't even know what's wrong with it. Okay. Yeah. And I look for crazy stuff in the bathroom and kitchen, like tubs that don't belong there. And then I'm going to look at the AC vents, see if they're blowing cold, if there's a ton of dirt. And dude, you'll figure it out real quick. Like a lot of times you walk through. And then I go, hey, listen, that's great. And then that's when you take over after the initial walk. I try to limit it like 5 minutes. Like, guys, we're just doing a once over to see what the heck we're getting. And they say, listen, is there a place we can sit down and have a discussion? Once again, they're home field. Some people like to sit. The kitchen table is probably one of the most common, or like the old fashioned. Now I'm going to show my age. The what do you call it? The family room, or like maybe even a dining room. Yeah. And you sit down.
They still have those.
And then honestly, that's when the awkwardness starts.
Yeah.
And so, and they say, listen, as I said today, we're going to take about 30 or 40 minutes, and we're going to. So I appreciate this tour of the house. And then that's when I'm going to go with the upfront agreement. I go, listen, you're going to have a choice to make, Zach. I appreciate you spending the time with me. I'm going to take about 30, 40 minutes, and you're going to make a decision. And no matter what decision you make, you're going to make a decision if you want to, yes, I like working with Rick, I want to move forward, or no, this just doesn't work out. It doesn't fit. Either way, I'm okay with it, but we have to make a decision to make a decision. Are you okay giving me a yes or no if you want to move forward? And Zach, was that a yes?
Yes.
Okay. And no matter what, I'm committed on helping you sell this house, even if I'm not the buyer. Does that sound fair?
Sounds fair.
Okay, cool. So let me go into it. So once again, and now I'm just going to go through, and now I'm going to verify some of the facts. Honestly, guys, I do this by memory because when you bring in paper and folders, you distract the heck out of your sellers.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? You can't do it that way. So when you do that, you go, listen, okay, so you told me you got about $100,000 mortgage on it, and you said your plan is to move in the next 30 to 60 days, right? And so it's much easier when you're talking to one person, when you have two, because you can get multiple objections. And so I just focus. And now the key is, once you get some experience on this, you look into their eyes. You have to look deep into their eyes, almost peering through their souls. Because when you look deep in someone's eyes, you can see if it goes up, down, sideways, or away. And you can start, and there's going to be subtle clues. And after you do this a couple hundred times, you'll figure out what it all means.
Yeah.
So, and then I'm just going to go into the conversation. I'm going to verify that. And then I'm just going to go over their pain. Listen, I understand I get it. The back patio roof's caving in. Like you want to get it sold, and you want to have it sold in 30 days, and you just want to know it's done. Correct. Okay. So we discussed this number. Hey, Zach, have you figured out what you need just to get out of this thing?
I don't know.
Listen, I get it. We all don't know. But like, listen, if I just waved a magic wand over you and said, listen, Zach, what do you need to walk today and walk away with like your dignity and respect? I make this super easy for you. Do you have a number in mind that would make this simple for you? Because I don't want to play games with you. I just want to be straightforward with you.
I mean, I don't know. You tell me.
Okay. Well, I tell you what, I looked at some numbers, and like a lot of the houses in the area, they sell it like right around the 200. But let me warn you, Zach, a lot of these houses are in perfect shape, and they're listed with he goes, listen, and he goes, that's it. And you're just like, well, you got to understand, you have to do a realtor fees. There's going to be some negotiations, and then are you okay going through inspections?
No.
Okay. So that being said, I don't want to insult you here, Zach, but like, listen, I'm just going to throw it out there. If it resonates with you, great. If not, I mean, would you consider like 100,000?
Can you do 110?
Yeah, let me just take a double look at the house, though.
Okay.
Okay. And what did you say the extent of the damage on the patio was? What do you think? And if you had to hire a contractor and I gave you the money for it, what do you think you charged to fix that?
My cousin Joe said it was about $3,000.
Okay. So, guys, my saying is, even when somebody asks you to come up and it's a smoking deal, don't just roll over. Yeah. Have an excuse to go up. Go, okay, what was that number again? And make it seem like you're struggling a little bit to go up. I know that's a little bit of a freak one, but
yeah.
I'm looking. So when I do it, either he's going to attack back at me. Now, if I built a rapport, I won't get kicked out. If you built terrible rapport,
yeah,
they're going to drag you out of the house. Okay. And he's going to like, Rick, I can't do that. That's insane. I go, okay. But now I've put the pressure on him. It's not pressure. It's like, okay, well, listen, I threw out a number. You give me an idea. If I get it, that doesn't work. But like, so we're somewhere between 100 and 200, right?
Yeah.
And that's where you play ball. What's it going to do to like have you solve this problem and make you happy and move on?
I don't know. 110.
Okay. So I tell you what, if you're okay with 110, what I'd like to do is just go out to my car. I have a very simple contract. I think it's less than 2 pages. And I haven't filled out anything. I'm a real simple guy. I just want to go, we sit down and we can do it together and I'll explain everything to you. Does that sound fair?
Sounds good to me.
Awesome. Okay. So I'm going to go and like, I like to fill it out in front of them. Now I'm slow and I'm sloppy, but they like that. There's something about when you pull out a pre-filled out contract on the price, freaks them out.
Yeah.
So that's it, guys. You just got to get into it and have a conversation. Understand when I throw it, either he's going to reject me, he's going to counter me, or he's going to just give me a price. One of the three are going to happen. You have to prepare yourself for it.
Yeah. I mean, I think the way you close, that's good because you kind of present it out and then you go out there, honestly, that's what I see because the more and more you come out here and you practice this and the more and more appointments you go on, the easier it is for you to actually go and close it. But like, I think so many people get confused with the appointments, right?
Yeah. Guys, when you go on appointments, this is where you have to kind of expect the unexpected because you have no idea what's going to come out of the seller's mouth. Honestly, to this day, when I send my people acquisitions, I try to prepare them like they always like, you're never going to believe what he or she said to me. And the idea is you just handle it. Okay. They're not going to hurt you. No one's going to hurt you. The worst they're going to do is hurt your feelings. And that's where you got to like toughen up a little bit. You are going to get rejected more than you get accepted. And if you're okay with that, you take the shots. Because if you don't take a shot, you have no chance of getting a wholesale deal. So remember, we want to go for a no because when you make that low ball offer, the idea is to solicit a response, a reaction. That reaction, now you can use that data to formulate an offer that works for both parties.
Sure.
Okay. You can't just shove offers down people's mouth. Okay. I love Grant Cardone, but like a lot of that stuff, you have to, you're talking with regular people here.
Yeah.
And you got to turn the conversation. If there's motivation, you have a high probability of striking a deal. So the problem I find is a lot of you guys do with this entire presentation and there's no motivation there. And you wonder why you get like crushed. If you approach a traditional retail seller and try to do this strategy, it's never going to work.
I agree.
Now, if he has a house that has repairs and needs to get rid of it and he needs to solve a problem, his certainty overrides any other needs, and he or she wants to get that done right away. So
I agree. I think it's really important here. So the next like sort of semi part here is kind of like the closing, which is kind of close to what, the way you did. So I sort of do a very similar way, right? I think the way that I kind of present a closing to somebody is like, what price works for you? What price? What blah, 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 blah. And then I just make you spit out a price.
yeah.
Hey, my partner, Rick, he always wants to buy properties so below the market value. I mean, I think he told me like 70,000 to buy this house.
70.
He's crazy, right?
70.
He always wants everything.
Where'd you find this partner? It was like back in 1972.
He buys houses cheap,
I definitely can't do 70. I'm just telling you, man. Like I
didn't offer you 70.
Oh, okay.
I think it's pretty interesting the way that
70.
he kind of came up with that one. So I was just trying to see like what you thought of that. I mean, he's gonna be upset at me if I get anything above 70. I mean, what works for you?
Listen, I can't look at anything below 100. Like I'm just like I'm the decision maker here.
Yeah.
Like 100 is like, that's honestly, that was my goal to walk away with you on that. Like, it's just, I think that's a fair deal. What do you think?
I mean, you're at 100. He's at 70.
Can I talk to your partner? It's ridiculous.
I mean, well, I'll make the decision on this. I mean, if he's at 70, you're at 100. I mean, can we just meet at the middle at like 85? I mean, that makes sense, right?
Dude, Zach, you're pushing my patience at this point. I'm going to be a single man if you keep doing this. How about this? Can we get it like can we get 70, 100? What if we did like 90? Can you do 90? Like, honestly, I'm like, I think I'm at my limit. And honestly, I think you should give me a little something with that. I think it's more than a fair enough deal. Like, don't get too greedy here, man.
I mean, I was at 85. Here's the thing. Okay.
Yeah.
My partner's Rick's going to kill me on this.
I don't care about your partner.
Here's the thing.
Sounds like a real winner.
The reason is I want to spend 90. That's why I was offering you 85, because at 85, I was going to pay all the closing costs.
How much are the closing costs?
It really depends on this type of property. It might be $1,000, $2,000, but again, it's kind of going to be within there. And then there's always fees on there. Like, obviously, I'm going to have my team come by, inspect it, look at it. I just thought, 85, I pay all the closing costs.
How quick can you close it?
I mean, I can close it as soon as you want. Just give me a date you choose. As long as it's out a week or two.
Can we get it done this month?
Yeah, we can do it this month.
Like 3.5 weeks?
3.5 weeks. We can do that. It'd be
30 days. Yeah, I can't do any more than 30 days. If you can't get it done, like I'm it. I need to know it's done. It's over. I don't have time for like the games. And then you're paying closing costs, right?
I'm paying all the 85 is your net.
Okay.
Minus whatever you owe.
I don't owe a mortgage, anything else. I just got like a small tax. I think I got a tax bill. Will you cover the tax bill?
Right now we're in September, October right now. I can't, because that's for a full year,
Okay. Well, it's just like $800. Not the end of the world. So,
but we can do it then. If it's 800,
and what are you done?
85 is what you're going to net. We'll do it. If you don't owe anything, we'll do 85.
What does net mean?
So at the end of the day, you are going to get $85,000 wired or to a check from the title company. If you go with the realtor, and let's say you sell it for 95, they're going to take out the realtor's fees, 6%, your taxes, your closing costs, and you might net a way lower amount. So that's what when we say net, it's like when I say 85, that's how much you get.
Okay. What kind of deposit are you going to leave me?
Well, we usually leave about a $500 deposit on there.
500?
Yeah. You can
Listen,
list
Zach, I'm not interested in the deposit. I need that 85.
We do 85.
Okay. So 500, close 30, and then you're going to pay my closing cost and my tax bill.
Correct. If it's around 800,
Okay.
we can do that.
Okay.
You better
Okay.
shake my hand right now, or my partner's he's gonna go crazy on me.
Let's go. Come on, man. Don't play around with me, man. Because if you don't do what you say, I'm gonna come after you.
Perfect.
So the only thing I do is like you got to put in the contract, you got to put tax bill not to exceed $800. So you can't because
yeah, or I'd look up the tax bill.
Yeah, I know. So just guys, just be careful when you say net number. As far as you go is like I'll offer the closing cost, and then I'll offer kind of speed of the transaction, but understand your limitations. If you're going to be flipping it via assignment, which most of you are, don't make like a 7-day claim to close because it's going to blow up on you. It ain't going to work. So unless you're getting an insane discount, do not like buy into like some of that stuff. So understanding any liens this guy or gal has on the property, it's on them. It comes out of their proceeds. So the idea is we paid for the closing costs. So, and guys, don't start out saying you're going to provide the closing costs because it leaves you no negotiating power down the road. So notice at the end, he threw in closing costs and I told him my pain is an $800 tax bill. Why should I eat that too? As that goes, here's what I would do is I tell you what, Mr. Seller, if you sign the agreement right now, I'll go ahead and commit to that $800. I have to verify it. I'm going to put it in writing, but are like you good with that? So I want to exchange something and get something in exchange. And the most powerful thing you can get is their signature. Okay. So I just ask for their okay. I don't ask for their signature because they freak out on that. And that's it. Don't use
the agreement. Yeah.
Okay. Agreement.
And I mean, even if you push me harder on basically that down payment, it's just because we are not a regular realtor and a regular buyer, because a regular buyer, they can agree to any price and they're basically just, it's even 50-50 they're going to close on it.
Yeah.
We're ready to go. We're closing in 30 days, right? Like we're not doing this crazy appraisals and everything like that. And so that's why we're doing 500.
So I never, ever let them focus on the deposit. I'm like,
no,
I'm giving you $85K. Like the deposit's irrelevant. That goes to a title company in escrow. So like, let's not focus on that. You need the $85K. That's what I want to get you. And like, so as soon as you go, listen, we're just going to get you $85K in 30 days. Like what's the 500 going to do? So I try not to make it a big deal every now and then. Guys, listen, if you get like a really good deal and they ask for a $500 deposit, don't like freak out about it. But if you're not getting a good deal and they're demanding a high deposit, fight it. It doesn't make sense.
I agree. So Miles is a good question. So how would the tax bill get paid? In most situations, it'll come out your assignment fee, right? If you're wholesaling it,
it probably gets deducted. So if you were making, say you were making 15 grand, you'll probably make like 14 too.
I agree.
Now, but Miles, if you're smart, you commit your cash buyer to pay that bill for you.
True.
Okay.
It's hard. It's a hard sell.
It's a little bit easy because listen, I have this deal, and then I usually pop it to them once they commit to a price. I go, oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, there's an $800 tax bill. It's part of the contract. Are you okay with that? And so sometimes they're not, and you have to pay for it. It's okay, but always try to pass off a cost on it. Because remember, who's paying the closing costs, Zach?
It could be you're the buyer, right?
The cash buyer is going to pay for it. So,
unless you're buying the house. If we're doing a wholesale, we'll just pay for it.
I know, but like most of the people are doing it.
So you're talking about wholesaling, it's cash buyer all day.
Correct. Yeah. So, but remember, cash buyers right now, they're a little bit smarter. And so they're like, that's another $3,000. So understanding that's it. Now, if you convince the seller to pay for their own closing costs, you put like another $2K in the deal on average on like a house under $200,000, and you can charge a little bit more for that deal. So just so you know, closing cost does come into play. The problem is a lot of you, some of you guys like committed up front. I'll pay all your closing costs. Like you haven't even like determined what the price is yet. You don't want to do that.
True.
Use that as a leveraging tool down the road and just say, but guys, if I leave a $10 deposit, do you know more than half the contracts I did, I never even left a deposit. It was never even an issue for the first 10 years I did wholesaling. So realtors kind of got involved. The deposit's kind of irrelevant. In most states, I'm not here to give you a lawyer. You're not technically required to leave a deposit. It just makes people feel good.
At least $100.
I'm not, like, we used to leave 10 and you just put the $10 on it. And we took we wrote down this serial number, or we photocopied it on a photocopy machine. I know that's like ancient, but Honestly, anything below $100, people look at you sideways
Yeah.
and like they're going to think you're not serious. And that's why we always recommend you got to have at least 3 digits on it, right?
Yeah.
Somebody mentioned the other day $1. I'm like, dude, $1 used to get me kicked out in 2003.
No, just I've always said 100, and I probably will always say 100 until inflation goes even crazier.
And remember,
but
guys,
yeah.
when you have a deposit, if you enter into an agreement to do an assignment, you can have your cash buyer replace your deposit and get it back right away.
Yeah.
So worst case scenario, I had to give Zach, or Zach had to give me $500. Once you get an assignment agreement, you can swap that money out and then use that $500 for your next deal. So don't
True.
understanding. Sometimes you're just floating it like just a few days. It's no big deal.
Yeah. So understand that, guys, when it comes to the closings. So let's go to the next one here. This is negotiating, right? And we already talked about that a little, with the role play, but like I want to get a little more nitty gritty on the negotiating. So like if we're having a kind of a role play conversation, we're talking about negotiating. When do you say no? Like, so you figure out your MA is going to be 150. Obviously, you can't go above that.
Yeah.
But how do you play that game, right? So if the motivated seller just tells you straight up, your MAO is 150, 200 is what I want to sell it for. How do you, what's the, do you say 150? Do you say 140? Do you say 120? Like what goes through your head on that?
Well, it's
They're
like
so off.
The reality, if the gap is huge, do not expend your energy trying to close like a $200,000 gap. It ain't gonna happen. I've never had it happen yet. Here's my rule. Most sellers in their mind, and most of the ones you're targeting, their perfect world is you buy the house cash. They don't have to pay the 6% realtor fee. They don't have to pay the 2 to 3% in closing costs. And they understand there's going to be 5% of wiggle.
Yeah.
So the reality is if you're within 15%, you have the ability to sell it to your seller, why it's a benefit of working with you. Okay. And remember, you're not listing the property, you're buying the property. So anything within 15%, you have the ability to close that gap. Because once you get it down to like 9%, you're so close. You're so close. And I'll fight for it. But dude, if they say, listen, I need 500 grand, it's worth 2, I'm like, no, it's just a hard no. I can't do it. And they go, listen. And then here's what I do. If they get so far separated from price, and sometimes they trick you, is I go, listen, Mr. Seller, I appreciate you need $300,000 to put Susie through college, and you need it to get your son a rental apartment, but we have to redirect and see what the house can afford.
Yeah.
You agree? It's like, oh yeah, that's right. I guess what the house is afford. Because a lot of times, and by the way, this is the realtor, this is the problem with MLS. A lot of the prices are wish list. That's why they call it an ask price. Okay. We can't play the prices right. Okay. And by the way, if you guys ever hear somebody on the phone, well, Rick, if the price is right, I'll sell it. Have a nice day. Like there's nothing you can do with that one. You're not going to win and the price is right. So my rule is if I can get within 15%, let's play ball. And then your job is to keep whittling it away till you can get it without completely exhausting the seller. Okay. Yeah. Guys ever go to a car dealership? You know the last car I bought, I spent 6 hours at the car dealership.
Dealership.
There you go. I was just like, I mean, it was just like when I was 18 and I bought my first car. It's the exact same experience. I'm not ragging on like car salesmen, but it is still a brutal process. I appreciate buying cars online. I just want to look at it. So I like to have the gap. Now, some people say 10%, but honestly, if the seller's expectation is 10% discount, and they're at like 15, understanding it works. Like you only got to whittle it down 5% to get them in the reality zone. So most sellers are going to expect a 10 to 12% discount when they sell it to a cash guy. So if you're 15% apart, you're only like 3 to 5% to get them where you need to go. It's not that far. And guys, sometimes it takes multiple conversations. I would like to tell you that every appointment me and Zach go on, we just close them and we get them done in 30 minutes.
It's not.
It's not. This guy, I swear, he did one where you put probably 30 visits.
Yeah, I did another one.
I mean, just guys, this is what you're not going to get like from gurus and stuff like that. It takes, we talk about overcoming resistance with persistence. That little gap sometimes is the hardest part of this business. And you have to find a way to whittle it down without wearing out your seller. And sometimes it's just kind of reminding him. And sometimes I let them engage in a conversation with a realtor and I go back, remember why you contacted me, Zach, right?
Mhm.
You didn't want people parading through their house. You didn't want to go through a rigorous inspection and you didn't want financing contingencies. I solve all three of those.
Yeah.
When are we going to move forward and solve your problem for you? And that's it. I'm going to redefine this pain because the realtor, all they do, remember the realtors, they remember that, oh, but she's going to list it for $315.
Yeah.
List, not buy. My problem solves these equations. Remember, Zach, remember the reason you called me. You want to solve a problem. I want to help you out. I
Yeah.
want to create a win-win situation. Listen, you can list with a realtor. You have it right, but like you're going to go through all three of those pain points that you didn't want to like deal with. Let me know if we can come to an agreement today because I don't want to waste your time. I think you're a great guy, but I know I can solve your problem.
Yeah.
I think we should move forward. It's completely up to you, Lo. And that's it, guys. You have to remind them why they called you. In my opinion, in wholesaling, every time I'm reaching out with a seller and I identify motivation, if they're calling me or I'm calling them, once I've identified it works, it's my job to bring them to the promised land, like just guide them. And by the way, if you guys think this is some slick selling thing, it's not.
It's not.
It's about preparing for objections and doing a lot of role playing like this. When we work with acquisitions, it's hundreds and hundreds of role play. Because one time, like once in a blue moon, I'm just going to roll over. When I do it, it was like, why do I do that? Because when I had somebody roll over, I almost thought it was fake.
Yeah.
And I sat there and tried to say, are you sure about this? Or you don't, here, let's go ahead and sign the agreement. Sometimes you just got to go, okay, let's move forward. And then you're going to have someone who says, Zach, get out of my house. I don't like you.
Yeah.
And go, listen, what have I done?
I've had that on the same day once.
Yeah. And by the way, when you're not connecting and it's awkward and you had a good conversation on the phone and it's not gelling in person, take a step back and go, listen, Zach, it's like, am I upsetting you? Did I do something wrong? I feel like I've like hurt you. Like I'm missing something here. And then you're going to like put the guilt back on them and have them kick it back to you. So guys, there's a million ways. The best way to do this is just practice and because the problem is it's not the objection. It's how they deliver it and how you take it and how your feelings like, I'm sorry, you are going to get rejected. If you have a problem with that, you got to have a serious sit down with yourself and go, okay, am I okay with this? I'm willing to go through the pain to make my life better, my family's life better. And that's the point of role playing. The reality is most people avoid role playing. That's why they're in shock when they meet with these sellers. Like we could sit there and probably do 100 and I could probably give you 100 different ways to deliver stuff. And that's the problem. How do you train for that? Role play. It's ridiculous. You should role play 20, 30 times minimum per day of every type of thing. Guess when Zach started, I role played with him. He picked it up much quicker than most people, but I'm like, and I tried to scare you in the beginning. I go, people are going to be brutal. They're crazy. Like this and that. And then every now and then you get the sweetest, nicest people and you almost feel like, oh God, it's a trap. It's not. Just help them out.
Yeah.
Okay. We role play with like little old ladies. I always taught you, treat them just like you would treat your own grandmother and you'll be in good shape.
Yeah.
Take their garbage out. Do stuff like that. It goes a million miles for it, man. They like to sit down, have a cup of tea, do whatever it is. I'm not a big tea guy. Like there's so many different flavors. It's tough.
I like tea. I love peach tea.
Like it hot or
cold? I like the cold peach tea. Oh,
I get confused with the bag and all this other stuff. I would never make it in England.
Oh, whatever. But yeah, guys. So that's the point with the negotiating. It's just if there's too much of a gap, you got to be careful. And really, like you saw on Tuesday, I got like two $50,000 price reductions, and I didn't even offer. I just said, if I'm going to buy this cash, like we're straight up, I buy this thing, like I'm dead serious right now. What works for you?
Yeah.
And people go down 20, 30, 40, 50K because especially with the Zillow Fizbos that have been listed for like 100 days, they're like, things are getting real, you know? Things are getting real.
Here's the truth, the wholesaling that you're not going to hear probably in any other channel in this. The reality is most people get in wholesaling, they skim over the information or they get bad information and they chase down the wrong people. What are the wrong people? The people that don't have motivation. And I tell you, is the number one way to burn out in this business because it's ridiculous. It's like trying to sell giant sweaters in 105-degree temperature in the desert in Las Vegas. It is not going to happen. And I'm just telling you, if there's no motivation, save your energy and go find someone with motivation. The key to wholesaling is finding people with motivation. And understand, if Zach calls me or I call him, he doesn't know me. He's going to put up a defense. My job is to break that defense as nicely as I can,
It's true.
being true and authentic. And once he does that, I can get past his fake book. You know, like Facebook, everyone puts their most positive pictures.
Oh my gosh.
And then he's going to say, listen, well, I got a few issues going on in my life. I go, well, and guys, the last tip I'm going to give you, because I go on all day about this. God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth. Take the clue.
Yeah.
I have to let him talk 80% of the time, or I'm not going to get enough information to put an offer that's going to make sense to him.
You're not wrong.
Just talk. Just let them talk. Hey, guys, have you ever just like when you have a problem in life, you ever just want to talk to somebody? It's like you could sit there and say nothing. You could daze off, and I have. But oh my God, I've dazed off in appointments because I got ADHD, and I was just like, it sounds like you're just getting this nod phase of like, oh, it's over. That's just how it works. So like the more you let them do it, is you just got to be really to talk to people. When people are having problems and you get them going, let them talk. That's why I'm so careful with probates. 6 touches, guys.
Yeah.
So,
6.
I get too deep in this stuff. That's the problem, man.
It's great.
It's
It's
like
so
advanced sales. But it's not sales, guys. It's just connecting and talking to people. This honestly has nothing to do with sales. You just got to follow through a process. And by the way, whenever we go through a seller and say I'm on the 3rd or 4th conversation, now I do have a minimum standard for acquisitions people. You have to make progress with each conversation.
it's true.
You ever heard that saying, you can't keep circling the drain?
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, you either got to like lock that hole up or let it go down. I want a yes or a no eventually because I'm investing time.
Yeah.
And in the beginning, I spent a lot of time with people that weren't motivated, and just the drain. Oh my God. It's like one of those rental drains that had that slight clog. You ever watch it? It's like spinning. It's like torture. Dude, just give me, and like sometimes I honestly wanted to say, tell me if you guys in the comments, you ever want to do this. Like, can you just give me a yes or a no? Like you just want to shake people. It's like drives you nuts, but you can't. So you got to find the art to talk to people, and it's a back and forth. And that's why I like really enjoy this business. Guys, stop fighting with people that have no interest in selling you a property. It's a waste of energy.
I agree. So
Was that a rant? Yeah, that was.
it was great. I think people, I mean, everyone's loving this, right? Shout out to Luke. Everyone's giving a lot of great stuff. Make sure you guys,
We should start role playing.
we're going to get into it. Make sure you guys keep subscribing, keep following us, and we appreciate it. So last one, then we're getting into the cash buyers, right? Not as advanced as the other ones, right? But like we're talking to a cash buyer.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do a quick role play of a conversation as just the cash buyer, right? So I'll do it really quick. Then we get into some one-on-ones.
Let's do it.
But like,
Let's do some role playing with people. That'd be fun.
yeah, let's get into it. So, ring, ring, ring.
Yeah. Hello.
Hello. Hey, is this the owner of 123 Main Street?
Yeah, it is.
So I'm seeing here you have a for rent ad, or is you the owner?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, hey, my name is Zach. I'm actually not looking to rent out the property. I'm actually, I'm actually looking to wholesale some properties, and I'm looking to actually sell some deals I have.
You're one of those wholesalers, huh?
Yeah. I was sort of seeing if you were looking to buy any more rental properties in Port St. Lucie, Stuart, Florida.
I love it. You got anything?
Well, I don't have anything right now, but I am trying to just reach out to people that are legitimately trying to buy right now.
Okay.
It's kind of hard to figure out who's looking to buy or who's not. That's why I want to go straight to the source here and sort of see if you're looking to buy more rental property. So if you are,
Absolutely. I would love more. They're not that easy to get.
awesome. So have you bought from wholesalers before?
Yeah, I bought a few properties. It just, I like people to know what they're doing. It helps. But yeah, I did. I've done an assignment. I've done some straight up. So like, I get what you're doing. I just, are you direct with the sellers?
Yeah, I'm direct to the sellers. So the reason why I'm calling is, again, since you're looking to buy some more rental properties, I'd love to kind of get your criteria of properties you're looking to buy. I can go reach out to those areas, and if I have any great deals, I can send them over to you, and hopefully I can kind of assign them.
It's real simple. 250, 2 bedrooms, 2 baths minimum.
Okay.
And, I'd like to stay in these 2 to 3 zip codes. That's it. Like anything outside of that, you're kind of wasting your time. And honestly, I don't even mind doing the rehab on them if they're in that area. I got a crew that'll do that. So, and I have a contracting license. So listen, dude, I just want deals, and just tell me what your price is, and I'll let you know if it's going to work.
Okay. Sounds perfect. So
You reasonable?
I'm reasonable with it,
Dude, it's hard finding I just can't. If it's full price, save yourself the time. I'll just get it off MLS with a realtor. So if you can give me somewhat of a discount and leave some meat on the bone, I'm your guy.
Okay, perfect. So I want to just ask you a couple more quick questions for it. So I got the zip codes here. I got the area. I know exactly where I should be. I mean, are you okay with me making an assignment on this? Like, as long as I give you the price, are you okay with any assignment fee I pretty much make?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking at the end price. So
Okay.
I really, I get it. I get what you guys do. So it's
Okay,
like
so-
I don't want to do it, so I'm okay with it.
Okay, and
Which title company you use?
So I use Smithfield Title over on Canner
I know Jenny
Highway,
over there.
and
I know Jenny.
pretty much what we go with them. You'd be paying the closing costs, obviously, but they make it the easiest for the assignments, so this deal doesn't blow up. So it works.
If
Really
I
good for you
call and
me.
ask her about you, is she going to know you?
Yeah, she knows me.
If I
I
call her.
Yeah, I haven't done any assignments yet, but
Okay.
I've kind of gone over everything with her on there. And then all I really want to know is if you can ask me. Obviously, I've been told I got to get a proof of funds, but honestly, if you can just tell me your LLC number and I can kind of look it up and sort of see how many properties you've bought, that will work too. And then before we go and look at the property, I might get a proof of funds once, and that's all I'm ever going to need, just to make sure.
I'm
we're all
okay
safe
when
there.
you have a deal. I don't
Okay.
really know you right now to give it to you, but if
Well,
you
when I
can
have a
show
deal-
me a deal, I'm happy to give you a proof of funds. I'm Piranha Investments LLC. And dude, how do you get your deals?
I put out those signs. I call
Oh, you're
people.
one of those guys.
I sort of do anything I can to find someone
I don't
looking.
know how you
so
guys do that stuff.
crazy. So, all right. Well, nice meeting you.
Okay.
Let me go look for some deals, and I can give you a call. Is this the right number to reach you out?
Yeah, dude, let's do it, man.
All right. I'll call you when I got a deal, and I'll let you know.
Like a cash ready.
Boom. That's really simple.
Cash buyers they're really easy.
Yeah.
Like either they're on board or they're not. Like there is no talking
It's
them
simple.
into it. And but like I like the strategy of the rentals because they do work.
I love the Zillow for rents. They are absolutely the best.
So it's just you've got to understand. So that's kind of like a pre-qualifying. So when you have a deal, it's a much more urgent conversation. You agree?
I agree 100%.
And it starts with POF, and you can't get past that. So he's asking, "Are you okay if I have a deal? Can you present me a POF?" And he asked what the budget in the area was. And then notice I said, "Listen, I'll do rehabs too." So they'll do both of them. Okay.
Yeah.
Somehow, like landlords and like fix and flip, they're in two different worlds and they have two different price structures, and you have to understand that. Okay. And that's if you send a fix and flip guy like a rental ready property, they're never going to do a deal with you on that. So that's it.
That's
So,
it. That's checking out. I got some crazy trolls in the comments. Got to get out. But
is that funny?
I always got to drive some people. One guy said, "Oh, yeah, you're with the gurus."
Yeah.
I had an interview with people that sold coaching like 2.5 years ago when I started out, because I had a podcast when I was 18. Obviously, everyone sold coaching back then. Everyone's like, "Since you did that, then you're a guru." I blocked some of these crazy people, but yeah.
That's fine. Dude.
Piranha LLC. That was a good one.
Dude, I literally know a guy who owns a company like that. Dude, they're in like every state. They're like, because that's when someone goes. That's when you guys start like playing with the name. Like honestly, you not want to use shark, piranha, wolf. It just like you could go through this entire process and put your name on a contract. They're like, "You're piranha.
Oh,
You're piranha." I'm like, what do I have to worry about? Like, just make it like simple, guys. Nobody cares what the name of your company is. I'm sorry. I know I'm going to offend people here. The reality is it doesn't change anything. So just make sure, just don't make your company like Rick Ginn LLC either. That's what realtors do. So
my personal company doesn't have my name on it. Your personal company doesn't have not personal company, but like investments, flipping, rentals. Like mine doesn't have my name on it. Yours doesn't have your name on it. It just makes it so much easier.
Yeah.
And then the billions of type of trust and stuff we have, LLCs, our names are never on it. So
I'm just saying, guys, like be smart about it. It doesn't make sense because you defeat the protection, but seek out a lawyer to get the correct advice. I ain't a lawyer and he definitely ain't.
How are you not a lawyer? How am I definitely not?
What
is that supposed to mean?
I've been through some serious fires on this stuff. And listen, you do this long enough, you guys, once you start getting up and going, you're getting deals, like sit down with a lawyer and learn how to protect yourself. Because say you buy like 20 rental properties and you decide to fix it, it's painful, man. Like it's extremely expensive. And not only you got to pay the lawyer, you're gonna have to pay all the county fees to re-record the deeds correctly. And by the way, when you change the deed, so you guys know, and you close traditionally, it voids your title insurance. So like it is then you have to rebuy it again. Now you get a discounted rate, but it can be a tremendous expense. So I recently met with an investor that his lawyer advised him you had to change every name. He made him do like a separate LLC, which is the correct way to do it. And I think he had to do like 10 properties. And he goes, not only did I have to pay a lawyer, he goes, by the time I got the bill, it was like $30,000 from the title company to re-record everything. I was like, holy moly, you know? And then remember, everything changes. Everything can change. So once you re-record something in public records, it changes everything. If you own it personally, if it's a rental property. So guys, once you get past like 2 or 3 and you want to do this and keep some properties, understand how to own it. Also use the lawyer to protect you. In the event you were to get sued, you want them to sue your company, not you personally. And if you can't separate the two, it could create problems down the road for you.
It will create problems.
It will.
It will. So let's do some one-on-one role plays. I want to get some within, then we'll do some questions too. One thing I want to do is I get asked a billion times, how do we get on these one-on-one role plays? You just got to be a member of Wholesaling Houses for Real. That is our mastermind. It's the largest mastermind in wholesaling real estate. And all you got to do is just go to Wholesaling Houses for Real Facebook group and you can join us. We're getting an insane amount of people just joining all this stuff. So it's insane. So let's kind of break it down. So like, how do you join it? Remember guys, www.facebook.com/group/wholesaling houses for real. That's how you hop on. I'll give a shout out to, let's give a shout out to Kyle today. Kyle out here posted his win in the group. This is why you got to be in the group, guys. A lot of private stuff that most people don't see unless you're in the mastermind group. So how do you get on there, right? So first of all, Kyle, what's up, Kyle? Got my first one locked up. Oh, snap. Let's look at that. All right, let's get rid of the address there. But, we got a live spammer in there.
Oh,
so.
God, dude, it's so painful when you see that.
So, but guys, just FYI, the only time the spammers are already in there is when I have a live and I can't bring them out. I always post them out. Remember the spammer posted it 5 minutes ago. So like, there's nothing I can do about that. But pretty much every night, it's kind of like I'm kind of like the janitor of the group. Before I go to bed, it takes me 1 minute to clean every spam. There's probably 200 spam comments a day. Yeah. It takes me 1 minute to throw them all out. It takes me 1 minute because I have algorithms set in there.
And then people call it out too. They're like, this
guy's scamming. You can report it, but you can report it. I'm just telling you guys, I click 2 buttons. Usually when I wake up, I'll click it. Takes a minute to do. Takes all the spam out of there. And it's pretty simple. So guys, we are the only reason that group is growing so much. First of all, we give all free content and we have such a great following of people. But the second is because there's no spam in it. It's the greatest thing ever, right? And people get upset. Oh, my post didn't get approved. Well, your post said where my cash buyers at, and we are in a wholesaling group. There's no cash buyers in the group. Okay, it's a wholesaling group. But most of the time, guys, we allow great quality posts, and it's a great mastermind. Everyone can comment, and it's a great way to find other wholesalers in the community and really join a community of like-minded wholesalers looking to get in the thing. No gurus, nothing like that. No way you can buy anything. So that is the point. That's sort of what we're talking about. So guys, I'm appreciating it, guys. We're seeing a lot of love and support lately, like always. And we just always want to say thank you for it, guys. I really appreciate it. And I love it. But yeah, shout out to Kyle there. I like it. We got, there's Kyle. Kyle's watching.
What's up, Kyle?
Shout out to him. I was impressive. I'm like, dang, good stuff for him. But that's awesome. Love to see it. So let's do some role plays. Let's go through it. Let's see who's on first. On first is Ollie. Hello.
Hey.
What is up?
What's up? I just had a quick question.
Sure.
Me and a seller agreed on a price and I sent them over the contract, but they wanted to use a different contract. and this seller is a realtor, and she sent over like a 26-page contract. You know, like
Dude,
what I should do?
We already have one rule.
Yeah.
If you go through the 30-day wholesaling challenge, we literally did 2 hours dedicated to contracts.
Oh yeah,
Pretty
I watched
simple.
the video.
If you're using our contractor, you're not doing a deal with us. And unless it's a crazy probate deal, we'll use a legal contract.
Yeah.
But we're gonna write in, we can assign it. If the seller wants to use a contract, no. Okay. Either we use our contract at freewholesaling.com or we'll put like a legal one if it's a crazy probate, if we really need to. But no.
Yeah,
It's a non-negotiable, right?
and the fact you're buying it from like a realtor should be probably your biggest red flag. It just why wouldn't they just throw it? Did you get it off the market?
Yeah, it's a FISBO.
So do they have it on MLS or is it just private?
I think it's on MLS.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, I use.
you know how I feel about MLS.
I wouldn't use that one. Just being completely honest with you, I would use your contract, or they can go list it again, right? No one's gonna do a 25-page.
26 pages. That might be a new record. I've seen 21. I
that's a
saw
good one.
22. At 26,
Yeah.
you are literally going to sign your life away.
Yeah.
Like it's like you, and they're going to have every clause in there, so you can't do what you want to do with it.
Yeah.
So, are you prepared to buy it with all your cash?
I don't have cash.
Okay, so
Don't do it.
we've answered the question. You have to stick to our contracts, or you're a dead man walking. Sorry, it's just the truth.
Okay. Thank you. And when you email a cash buyer, and should you like be sending the address of the home over like through email? Like,
You know, you should be talking to them on the phone.
Yeah.
okay.
You technically can't send an email with an address because what are you selling? Ali, what are you selling?
Hold on, what was that? You kind of
What are you selling to the cash buyer?
contract?
Correct. So you can send them a contract, which is going to have the address on it, but you got to like pre-qualify them because you can't be sending every stranger a contract.
Yeah, you can send an address, but you have to write in there that equitable interest in the property. Here's the address if you want to look at it. But like, dude, do not send the address out there unless they are actually like committed, ready to go.
Yeah, and they're fully vetted. So you got to make sure they got proof of funds and everything because most people that contact you by the property, they're not legitimate cash buyers, and that's how you can get in trouble quick. So that's how you start like trying to sell a piece of property you don't actually own, and then you get in this whole mess, and we want to prevent that. So like email should be after you've already vetted your cash buyers, and that way you can know who you're always sending it to, because if you send it to blind people you don't know, you have no idea. You could be sending it to a state regulator. You could be sending it to your competition. You could send it to another wholesaler that's going to put it on the internet and daisy chain it. And you definitely can't send it with pictures like that. So once you vet them, then you can verify their email address. And then guys, if you got to send a picture or two of the property and you make sure they're serious, make sure you send it in a Google Drive with an expirational link where they can't share it. You can do all this in Google. I'm not a techno geek, but I'm just telling you. You can't have any of that stuff shared. And especially if you're going to share a document, you better make sure that you're the only one getting it. So you have to vet your cash buyers. Me and Zach go over this thoroughly. The days of blasting and texting everybody an address with pictures, that's how you get in trouble wholesaling. That's how you break certain, I'm not going to say laws, but rules, statutes and stuff like that.
Don't pretend like you're... All right, let's cut this off at the first part. Use your contract. Make sure you have a vetted cash buyer. So kind of like we did in the role play, right?
Yeah.
Proof of funds, ready for your title company, ready for your assignment fee, all this stuff, right?
Yeah. And
they could send over whatever you really want, but like just still make sure clearly that you're doing an equitable interest you're selling, and you should be fine.
And Ali, we're not picking on you. We're trying to help you and just
understand.
Good sound advice on it. Because if you enter in that contract, they will chase you down and hunt you down like a dog. And you're just like, oh my God, what did I get in this for? And then it's going to be very expensive to get out of it. And you're like, well, I ain't got any money, nothing to do. I go, trust me, people can chase you down in court, make your life difficult. So use our 2-page contract. If you know you don't have the funds for it because you have to sign it, that way you have an assignable contract with an out in it. And number 2, when you get them under contract, make sure you vet your cash buyers, because most of them are going to lie to you. It's just the truth. How we've been through this so many years, and we understand how it works. The old days of blasting out, that's how we used to do it. So we've tightened up the rules to try to protect everybody in the wholesaling community.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, man.
Appreciate it.
Let me tell you, I've tried to buy a lot of properties from realtors.
It's hard.
When they own it, it's 10 times worse. So like, I feel for them. Like that's where like the red flags got to go up right away. I'm like, I give up. Like it's got to be. I had a realtor that had 2 rental properties. They were so trashed, and she was still asking for retail at the end, and it wasn't even on the market because she couldn't give it away on the market. I'm just like, you got to be kidding me. And to this day, I don't think she sold them. They just sit there and rot. Some realtors rather have the property rot than not go through the traditional like MLS. And then when they do it and they get to like a wholesaler, I'm going to send you my 26-page contract over. You're like, are you kidding me? 26 pages? We're going to kill a tree? Like, what does the 26 pages say? I don't even have the patience to read a 26-page contract for a simple home, especially if you're going to wholesale it.
Makes no sense to me. So Kyle, that deal he had was a FSBO. So everyone asks why cold call FSBO, so people can get the message that FSBOs work.
Yeah, and they're really attractive right now.
127th call of the day.
Wow, cool.
Guys, what if you quit at 126? Right?
Zach, I'm listen, if I don't get a deal on 100 calls, I'm done. I'm like, well, what if it's the 101st caller?
Right.
Like,
right?
Dude, I've had people like go in the thousands, guys. We don't sit here and sugarcoat it for you. It is work.
Oh, yeah.
But if you can have fun doing it, just try to help people out. And honestly, just get rid of the ones that are just a complete waste of your time. Stop spending energy on people that have no interest in selling you a wholesale deal. Motivation, guys. Motivation. It's going to be more important from now going forward.
Completely
Welcome
right.
to the real wholesale world.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, guys, so that's what I could say. Just it takes time and it takes a lot of dials, but you get better at it. So who we got? Vince.
What's up, guys?
What's up, Vince?
How y'all doing?
Good, man. How
I'm
are
blessed,
you?
Man.
Good. Hey, so
it's patient. He was like eating a meal and just like
he's eating
said,
his own.
What were you eating there?
you see my food?
Yeah, no, I see. I saw it on there. It's okay. What were you eating?
I had some barbecue chicken.
Look good.
Right.
Like I am like my stomach is just sitting there growling. I can almost smell it through the monitor.
It looked good.
I'm starving, dude. You see, like it's crazy. You know what we were talking about yesterday, just to fill them in. You ever hear that Get Real app? Like
Be Real?
Be Real, is that it?
Be Real, yeah.
That's crazy. I saw an SNL skit where they were robbing a bank and the guys Get Real app. He goes, wait a minute, I got to take the picture. They're going to like take me out. I just thought it was funny. Maybe we should develop a Get Real app for wholesalers to hold them accountable for them going out and finding.
I have that for the VAs. Screenshots their screen every
it's
minute.
so funny, dude. I heard about that. I go, that's an interesting idea. I got to give credit for that one.
Yeah, but
what can we help you out with, Vince?
I mean, I would love to do some role play, but I got like one scenario. I got a question. So basically, I'm dealing with this lady, man. I've been following up with her to the fact that I've been going to her house, helping her clean up the property. She lost her husband a couple years ago with COVID situation. They moved into the property like 7 years ago. She fell back behind payments. Loan modified the property to keep the property. So now she's trying to sell it, and I went over today just to help her, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she started. I'm thinking she's going to sell this property like sometime later this year, like late in the year. She's like, "Oh, what were you thinking about giving me for this property?" And I was like, "Okay." I was like, "Well, I kind of went to the fact what I offer, my benefits. I didn't give her a number. This is a pretty high quality, like premium area. The ARV for this property is around like $700,000. She was looking to get like $550 for it. But I didn't say yes or no. I just said, hey, I kind of try to cancel out everything else. Realtors. She said she could be like, she said, oh, there's another route I could have rented out. I'm like, do you want to be a landlord? She's like, hell no. So I got the landlord part out.
That's a good one.
And what else? I said she could wait. I said, yeah, you could get that number or a high number if you want to wait, 3 to 4 months. depending on the market right now because it's so tough to finance these houses because of the interest rates. And you got to go through inspections, you got to go through paying the realtor fees, and then you got to take out the closing costs too, you know. So I kind of ruled out all that. She still was she's like, oh yeah, I would love to close here in 2 months. But the thing is, I have a call, and she has a guy, she's been like, you know, her advisor, he's like a luxury realtor. He sold them the home, I guess when he was a regular realtor back, you know, 7-8 years ago. Now he's with like I heard him on the phone. He's like, I'm with one of the top 16 luxury realtors in the country. Yeah, so he's like,
whoa.
So I have a 3-way call with them tomorrow. I'm trying to figure out, do they expect me to give a price then? You know, and I'm gonna let them know like, hey, I'm gonna be the buyer. We gotta use our agreement. And I don't know if they're trying to. I don't know if he's gonna like interrogate me.
Well, let me give you some advice. I've been through this exact scenario. Number one, how did you find this lead?
It was a pre-foreclosure.
Okay. So is the house she's behind on payments right now?
No. She was, and then she loan modification. Loan modification process with another mortgage.
Okay. So she's showing signs of struggling, and she really just doesn't want to keep up with the payments, correct?
Exactly.
Okay.
And then she got a call from the sheriff about violations with the property.
Okay, so she's got like multiple pain points. I get it. She wants the problem with you getting involved with the realtor on a 3-way call. It ain't gonna go well because all realtors talk about, I can get you this, I can get you that.
Yeah.
Like part of it is, if that was the case, she would have already listed it with them. Like this just didn't happen yesterday.
And I don't mean to cut you off, but that's what I told her. And she's like, oh, we're just best friends. I'm like, what, he doesn't want to list it under him? She's like, no, he doesn't. I'm just like,
he doesn't want to deal with it. He doesn't know how to solve the problem.
Thank you.
But he has her trust. And so listen, if you already agreed to the 3-way conversation.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay.
She made it seem like, because what I had problems before is if I didn't talk to that other person, I lose the deal because that other person.
I agree. It's just like when they ask you, you know, can I run this by my lawyer? And you say no. Like, well, I ain't gonna do a deal with you. So when's your meeting with them?
Tomorrow at 1.
It's on the phone?
Yes, sir. You go 3-way.
Okay. So go in the meeting and be super nice and compliment the realtor. You're not going to win the fight. You are going to be in an uphill battle. So just kind of politely agree. And you're not going to, like, guys, I'm just telling you, like, the rule of thumb of the whole, if you fight with a realtor, you will lose because we're on opposing sides to a point. Yeah. Okay. Listen, she needs to get the house sold. I want to do it from a helpful nature, and just say, listen, maybe, you know, if I'm not the person to help it, you know, just kind of talk. Like, I'm not scared to say, listen, why don't you just list it? I wouldn't even throw that out there. I would just be kind of agreeable. He's expecting a full-on fight from you, and he's going to try to discredit you. And that's where you just got to come from. Like, I want to help her. She's a wonderful lady. I feel for her. I'm picking around, like, helping out with her lawn and doing stuff like this. So he's expecting a fight. So if he shows up and just starts like peacocking, you know what I'm talking about? Just strut, like, I'm the big bad realtor. I'm the top like 10th percent. Awesome. You sound like an expert. Hey, can you tell me what's going on with the market right now?
Okay, that's kind of like,
no, just like, hey, I just want to give us Vince, the price ain't going up, right? The longer she waits, the worse this is going to get. She's going to owe more. And so if you're going to ask him a question, Vince, make sure you know the answer so he can't spin it on you. Okay. Now, realtors will tell you, dude, everything's great in our market. What are you talking about? So you got to be careful with that. I would just be nice and agreeable. And because if he says, I would not work with have you used the word wholesaler around him or her?
No, I just told him we invest.
They will eat you alive on that one. So I would just go in agreeable and just be super nice because he's expecting a fight with you.
Yeah.
and it's going to make you look bad in front of the seller and discredit you, and just start agreeing with them and go, yeah, absolutely. Why isn't he listed? That's my real question, because it doesn't even make sense.
And that's why I haven't told her, but I told the seller before, and they talking about they got these guys at Fannie Mae or these big brokerage firms, and they're like, I'm like, so you got all these people around you. If a deal was a deal, and this is a real cutthroat industry, why would they just let a deal just sit on the table when it's food to eat? And then they'll say, oh, I don't know, because, and then it's like, come on, it's never a rational thing to them that none of them wants to work with them, but all I'm telling, all I'm telling that you should go for this number. But if that's the number, why you want to get that number for them?
Yeah, well, because deep down they know they can't do it. So Vince, how long have you been working with her? How much time?
It's been since earlier this year.
Okay.
Since January, it was like our first touch.
Sometimes deals just take time. She hasn't come to the realization. By the way, she's not the only person that's had some sort of pre-foreclosure or foreclosure that's in complete denial. And you said she's older, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So she's looking for confidence from other people, and she's scared to make a bad decision because the reality is probably her husband made these decisions for her.
Yeah.
Okay. So you have to respect her and let her go through a process.
Yeah.
Because remember what I tell you, when we work with the motivation's there, you found the right one, but you have to help a seller get out of their own way sometimes and just walk them through the process. So you have to get past this hurdle of this realtor, because when you're done with this conversation, you'll never hear from that realtor again. He'll be bye-bye. So let it go. You might have to let a week or two settle and then go back. And then now if you want to counter it, you can have a conversation with what's the broker's name, whatever?
The guy, I forgot, it was like Premier something he said.
Whatever. His name though, is it John, Jim? Big on the J's today. I don't know why.
But
whatever's first.
So I want you to take the same charm and rapport you do with the realtor. Your goal in this meeting is just get them out of the way and don't let them block you.
Yeah.
Just get them out of the screen. Dude, you're brilliant. It must be amazing for you to be able to help that many people out with their properties. And then you can set it up when you have a meeting with the seller. I'm like, she goes, well, he said it's worth it. I go, yeah, but like, why wouldn't he just, I don't understand why he hasn't already helped you out with it. Like, listen, here's what I say. What I'm trying to do is help the seller. They have to go through a process. They are in denial. It is a river. What's the word of saying?
River of denial?
Yeah. Well, you know, the denial is a river of whatever.
I don't know what that one is called.
You know, the Nile River, people call it, instead of the Nile, denial.
Yeah.
So she's down that river. She doesn't know how to get off in it, and she's looking for people to help her out. So it's usually going to be a lawyer, a realtor, or a broker, someone like that. So if you try to discredit him like that, it's going to be a terrible fight, and I don't want you to do that. So just agree. Okay. Get him out of the way, and then you can have private conversations without him involved. With him involved, his ego is going to explode. What's the number one rule about your ego in wholesaling?
Yeah, lose it.
Lose it. So let the man win. You ever let somebody win something? This is like a child. Let him win the chess game. You win the war. So just try. Eventually, she has to walk through. She's going to have to liquidate that property. You build enough trust and rapport with him. Hopefully you'll win it. There's no guarantee, but like, that's it. You're trying to help her out. I honestly think you're really trying to help this person out, right?
Oh yeah.
This realtor's doing nothing. He's just trying to figure out how he can get his meat and claws in it. If he was smart, he would have already listed it and locked her up. So obviously there's some sort of, he knows there's issues with it. So let him win the battle. You go for the war. Let him win his little chess game. And just don't let it hurt your pride or ego. It's part of the wholesaling game. That's it. You cannot win a fight against a broker and agent. Guys, I tried. I've got my butt handed to me. You know how you get your butt handed to you? When you cannot do the deal anymore, then your deal's closed. So you've already made an investment in time. I just want to extend it a little bit longer because this market is only going to get tougher. So you talk about a $550,000 to $700,000 property with 8% mortgages. It's going to be tough for a lot of people to buy that. Plus, with repairs, it's not going to qualify for traditional mortgage. So it's going to take a cash guy. So you just got to keep staying in position and stay in the race. And just try to make the conversation as short as possible. That sounds weird for me saying that, right? Do not fight him. So it's your gut. So let me ask you, if you didn't talk to me and Zach and you got on that call tomorrow, what would you say?
It would have been
honestly. Just tell me.
It'd have been on that. Yeah, it'd have been what you said. Like I would have tried to.
Let's go, baby. Let's
like,
go. Why don't you list it? What's your problem? Don't kick woman out. Oh, you're one of those guys, huh? And so he's coming in just like this. What you got, Vince? What are you gonna hit me with? I go, dude, I looked you up, dude. Actually,
it's like when someone's got their hands up ready to fight you and just hug them.
I would love to even contact you about some other properties I want to sell. This guy's like, what the hell's going on here? Am I getting pumped? And I'm just telling you, it's there you go. Mackenzie put up there. Denial's not just a river in Egypt. So
oh my Lord.
Egypt? I don't even know.
Yes.
I'm terrible. Like, see,
I
gotta get out of this country.
I watched all of Moon Knight in a week last week. So I'm an Egypt expert.
My thing is like, are they gonna try to get a price out of me, which I'm not gonna do, but I'm just trying to figure out, like, she brought him up in the conversation, so obviously he plays an important role in the situation. So I was like, you know what, just put us on 3-way call. So I'm like, I'm hoping she's not going to come to thinking I'm going to offer in front of all of, like.
She's trying to get his okay on what you offer.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
You have to remove him from the equation. I'm sorry. If it's a lawyer, you don't have a choice, but like a broker, it's between you and me. Unless she has how. What he's trying to do is say you made a $550 offer. He wants a commission off of that. Sorry, it's just the truth. That's what he's going for.
Yeah.
So just be super nice, kind of that, and then all your conversations with her have to be private, because eventually she's gonna have to sell it, right? She's gonna have to sell it. There's no choice. She's got violations. She's struggling with the payment. She's done a loan mod. So you just have to wait it out. And that's you just staying in the right position. Maybe it's coming by, picking up a few sticks in her yard, helping her out with stuff like that. Because eventually when somebody helps, because that realtor, when you're done, he's gone. He's bye-bye.
Mm.
If he was smart, he'd go out and find other cash buyers, but we don't want to give him any ideas, right? The minute you give him an offer, he's going to go find 3 other people to pay more and try to up his commission. Happens all the time. So
do you think she's in a good ballpark, or you think I need to bring it down at least 30 grand? I was thinking, like,
I don't know, but like, keep this in mind, Vince, when you talk about bigger numbers, it gets the percentages, you can easily manipulate them. So 550 for 700, I don't even have a calculator in front of me what the discount is. When the numbers get bigger, it's different ball games. You talked about this detail once before. It's like, remember the discount on a $100,000 house opposed to a $700,000 house. Even though it might be
10%. Think of that. 7K versus
but you
70.
hear the number, you're like, oh my God, like that's only a 10% discount. Remember, a closing on one of those things are monstrous fees. Like, they're expensive. And so you got to understand that. So like, some people go, well, you take a $50,000 house and you take a 20% discount, that's only $10,000 off. Mm. So now we multiply, say it's a $500,000 house, a 20% discount is $100,000.
It's like gas. If gas goes from $1 to $2, people didn't flip out like they did now. When it goes from 2 to 4, people lose their minds. Yeah. And I get it, but like, it's just the law of numbers. Yeah. And it's crazy. I mean, I remember when $1 million house used to be like a mansion as a kid. $1 million house is like a 3.2.
Like the norm
it's crazy. But
they just glass over the realtor, agree with them. You're the greatest thing sliced bread, and move on with what you were originally doing.
We're looking to buy a house.
That's what I would do.
But I'm trying to figure out, because this is her big thing, is she wants to have enough to basically live off of the next 20 years.
Well, listen, if you watched me earlier when I did one of the role plays, sometimes I go, listen, I can appreciate that. Okay, now I'm not here to do actuaries to figure out how long she's going to live, because that's a bit morbid and it's a little freaky. But I can appreciate Zach needs $100 grand for this, but we have to see what the house can afford. You got to bring it back to the house. That's a wish list. So I need this so I can survive. Has nothing to do with the house. I'm sorry. So how much does she owe on it? Do you know?
Like $315.
Yeah. So, dude, I'm giving you a tip. Get past the realtor. Just agree with him and get him. Like, he'll go away. He'll forget about it, because he's going to have a million other problems with people trying to sell their houses. And so you want him to get distracted and busy. And before you know it, Halloween's going to come. Thanksgiving's going to come. Christmas is going to come. He's going to forget about her, and you're not. That's the difference. You just have to hold your position, dude. You're not going to be able to shove this thing through. It's just going to take time. One day she's going to like, okay, I just got to move forward.
So I'm just saying, like, if I was in the 500 range, do you think it's gonna be a hard assignment, or I got to be in the 4s?
I don't know. I honestly, I don't know. It depends on what's going on in the market.
Yeah.
But honestly, you're okay sitting around waiting to see what happens, because that price ain't going up. And her motivation, the only thing that's going to go up is her motivation and her fear level.
Yeah.
But you're not creating it. You're trying to solve it. And then you're going to see where the market goes. And then when you start getting those price ranges, those aren't the typical wholesale houses. So you have to play the numbers game. You got to get a good deal. And then you can secretly, if you want, you can start marketing. You can do some reverse wholesaling and start figuring out what people would pay for a property in that area of that square footage. I'd start figuring out who you're going to sell it to and reverse engineer a deal. So when you get her to a number, you can take it down, even if it's close.
Well, honestly, I would. I mean, of course, I would try to do some homework, but I don't think I'm gonna find any cash buyers in that range. So I would like come to somebody.
Listen, it's going to have to be a significant discount, because they're going to have to rehab it. They're going to have to close on it. There's a lot of expenses. And then listing it with the realtor, say they even listed at 600. I mean, that's $36,000 realtor fees. It's a lot of money. So you got about $50,000, $60,000 in transaction costs. So you got to keep all that in mind. The numbers get bigger when you do that. So you just get past them and just can move forward. This isn't going to happen overnight, dude. We're going to have this conversation probably multiple times. I'm okay with it. Yeah. Just get past them and let's live and fight another day, and go find other motivated sellers, because they do get challenging when you get in the upper range, guys. Remember, the higher the price, the more, I don't want to say the word sophisticated the seller is, but their ego is much bigger, and it's hard to, like, people just can't take it when it doesn't work out. But I would tell you, in a few months, you guys are going to see a major shift in people's attitudes in selling.
I agree.
And you're going to have to let her soak in it. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You got it. Glaze through it and live another day. Find other motivated sellers and keep her alive. Keep the deal alive, not her alive. But that's terrible.
That's terrible.
But dude, it is one of those deals. Like, that's the problem with the higher end homes. Like, the motivation's a little bit different. They need all these people's approval, and honestly, you cannot win them all over. So glaze through it. Live to fight another day. Find other motivated sellers, and unfortunately, time and circumstance will probably change your mind in the long run.
I agree.
Sounds good. Okay. Appreciate it.
There's no magic bullet for it, dude. I'd rather you keep the deal alive than just kill it, because the realtor will kill you on this one. He just wants his commission.
Yeah.
And whatever offer you're going to get, he's going to take it and shop it around to everybody else to see if someone will pay more.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. Sounds good, fellas.
Okay, dude, now you got me starving too. So I got that problem going on.
Just go eat after this thing. You're fine.
You ever get like so hungry you just want to like my eyes are bigger than my stomach.
Oh my gosh. But
my stomach is actually small, but
Vince, I appreciate it. Let me know if there's anything else we can do to help you out.
For sure. It was one more question I had.
Sure.
You had a website to look for people if you can't find them. Facebook, appraiser site. It was a voting records site, but I couldn't find it to see like their current location. I can't remember.
Voterrecords.com.
That was the general site?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. That's it, boss. Appreciate it.
All right.
Yeah, I'll keep you posted,
Okay.
man. Definitely.
You got it, Vince.
Appreciate it, man.
All right.
I'll see you about.
Oh, all right.
That's a long one. Sorry.
That's not bad. What do you mean? Where are you apologizing?
No, but like, see, that's the problem you run into in the
get through
higher
these.
price range. Is like all the time. You just gotta
yeah.
Because a lot of them go through the realtor's gate. So the realtor sold her that property, and now she's consulting and selling it. The same thing happens in commercial most of the time, guys. Just so you know.
I agree. So a couple questions. So that what is wrong with it, or why are you selling? Hard to ask the right way. Just do it. Yeah. What's wrong with it? I would probably do it a different type of way. Like, what's going on with the house? If I buy the house, is there anything I'm going to have to do with it? Is there any work I'm going to have to do with it? I don't like, even if it's a nasty house, your house is a piece of junk. I'm not going to tell someone that, right? But like, this house needs some work. If I was going to buy it, I would probably have to do some work to it, right?
If you insult your motivated sellers, you will not get a deal. Like somebody put it once to me, like, have you ever looked like around your own house and you're like, You ever had something go bad? Like, maybe you got like a rotting wall or like a leaky roof. And after a while, you're just like, you forget about it. You forget about it. You're so used to your environment, you don't even know it's there. So when you go to your sellers, like you walk in, you're like, oh my God, what happened to your roof? They're like, what are you talking about? And they get like, you can offend them. And that probably, like, if you're going to offend someone, don't do it on like the property. Remember, the main reason why they want to meet with you is they feel like you're not going to be in the judgment zone.
Yeah.
You can't judge these people. Actually, if anything, you should be praising them for letting you, inviting them in their house. So don't give them a ticket to kick you out or like not do a deal with you. So just say nicely. And like every now and then I used to spit out stupid things like, that's interesting. And so like I wouldn't even use that anymore, but and then they'll go like, what do you mean? And you got to be very careful, like how you tightrope on that. So just don't insult them. And that's like the rule of it. And you'll progress with the deal. But if you insult it, it's usually over right then and there.
Yeah, I completely agree there. Kyle says, my problem on my first deal was spending too much time building the relationship. It's there's a difference, right?
And so like, I'm not just making this stuff up. The reason you do that, Kyle, because I did the same thing. And like, the more we can be honest with you, the better we can help learn, is you walk into an appointment, it's uncomfortable, right? Like when you first do it, it's like, dude, I thought I was going to throw up the first time I did it. Okay. Make sure you pull the Aaron guy up because there's a whole story on his. So when you start talking familiarity with people, like, so say you're connecting with like kids or like sports cars or maybe a sports or something like that, you start to feel better. It's like, it's like, you ever got seasick and you get to land? It's like, whoa, I feel great now.
I remember.
Okay. So like you go, oh my God, the butterflies are going away. And you're like, this feels so good. And your subconscious is trying to sell you, stay there. We're safe. Do not expand this conversation. You're going to get killed. And your conscious is telling you, dude, you've got to go buy this house. You just get it over with. And you get in that battle and like, you don't realize 20, 30 minutes goes by. So after 10 minutes, set a little timer and just go, hey, listen, I could talk to you all day, but I came here to look at the house. Let's go on. And I promise you, then we'll continue this conversation. Sound fair?
I agree.
So Kyle, like, you're not I did it, dude. I'm telling you guys, this is part of like staying in the, like nothing gets accomplished and you actually lose credibility. So rapport building in the beginning. And then if you want to talk 2 hours afterwards, I don't advise that. You don't want to become too tight of friends with these people because I can't tell you how many calls I used to get at 3 or 4 a.m. This is when like the old days, but like even the phone, like, oh my God, he's calling me. I'm like, I know what he's doing, but it's just, you don't want to get in that position. So you want to be respectful and rapport. If you want to go over the top, do it at the end, because that'll help you in case they ever want to like negate or change their mind on the deal. That'll re-solidify it. So I agree. Transition, man. It's like nobody in wholesaling talks about transition. And you guys get super comfortable when you build reports. Like, get out of 10 minutes. I've done the math. After 10 minutes, they start looking at you like they're going like, when is he going to talk to me about the house? And they're like, oh, he's scared. Like, why won't she confront me about the price? I want to sell this house.
It's true. And
then they're thinking like, who else can I call? Because this guy's not going to get to the point. So you're not alone, Kyle. I feel you, dude. I suffered from this pain, and transition's how you fix it.
I agree, man. So give a shout to Joe right here. Rick and Zach, thank you for the great content. Long-time consumer, first-time commenter. So I appreciate Joe commenting. Guys, just remember, I'm sorry to say, but like, we got like 12,000 subscribers last month. So we're getting an insane amount of new people coming in that like, I want to answer every comment. I really do. I want to answer every comment on the live stream, everyone on the videos. I've kind of given up on the DMs on Instagram.
It's just like,
I'm trying my best, guys. There's FYI to answer every single comment in DM. I'm telling you, I remember when Graham from Australia.
Yeah.
He used to DM me all the time. I'd get like 4 DMs a week. And I'm like, oh, just chatting with him. And like, he remembers the good old days.
Dude,
but like,
some of the original subscribers,
they all remember
like,
it, right?
And forth. And like, guys, it's not, we're being disrespectful, like, but you gotta say, listen,
I just want to give FY to everyone. Like,
we got to spend a little time with like our family. So me and him are like together all the time. So Sometimes he wants to choke me out. Other times I want to choke him out. I don't think I can do it anymore, but maybe we have to have
you trying to assault somebody. You were at the gym the other day and you found someone sitting on the bench press and not using it. You had red in your eyes.
I go to the gym, like I'm not there to make friends. It's just like,
you were mean.
let me tell you, I go to the gym and like these girls they're sitting on the only bench. It's a tiny little gym we go to. And like, Sally, do you believe he said that to me? I'm like, and I finally, after about, I told him 10 minutes, it was probably 5. I lost it. I'm like, do you mind? I just want to exercise here. And I got that stare down that
you were so protective over the bench.
You know what 20-year-old looks they give you? It's just like,
you're so protective of the bench.
No, just let me bench. It's my one satisfaction in life, man.
I can bench another day. But yeah. So I just want to give a shout out. Like, I really love all the people who have been here forever. I try my best to answer all the comments and DMs. I can't get to all of them. The one-on-ones, just because we have so many stinking lives, it will take me all 6 days of live streams to do, but we will pretty much get to anyone who wants it still. But like, I mean, if our subscribers double next year, it's going to be double the amount of people. It's going to get harder and harder to answer the comments. So we're trying our best out here.
Yeah.
Just letting everybody know that. But yeah, we got to get some time for ourselves, some time for, making legitimate money, because we make our money in real estate. So I don't make my money off of being a YouTube guru, unless you hop on a discovery call and then we can, chat against how we can help. Stupid, right? I am looking for 5 individuals ready to change their life. Only 5, but I'll bring in 50.
Guys, we honestly, I would be fine if most gurus were just authentic. They're like, listen, I'll take as many people as have a credit card. There's not limited seating. Hey, real quick, pull up the one that we had up there.
Let's answer Joe real quick. So he had a question. So give a shout out to him. First comment, love it. First time commenter, do you think I could get my first wholesale deal working only probate leads by mailing and skipping and calling? Joe, I don't know what market you're in, but I could say, if outside of a crazy market, LA or San Fran or New York City, I think you can easily, right? It's not a lot of work, and
you can actually have a full-time job and do it with your eyes shut.
5 to 10 hours,
because it's not a lot of leads, and it's not expensive to do. The downside is it's a little bit slower.
Yeah,
it doesn't happen as fast, and that's the only downside. But the profits are huge on them. So if you want to do it, go for it. I tell everybody to add it to. It was one of my biggest regrets in my first 10 years by not doing that in wholesaling. I found it by accident.
Yeah. So you definitely can, Joe. Really appreciate the comment. Appreciate the support. Aaron, hey, Rick, have the key.
So I spoke to Aaron the other day. So if you guys ever have sellers that go, well, like they kind of agree to you, or they want you to take a look at the house and they go, listen, I have the key. They can't figure out the key. Guys, do not wait for the seller to send you the key. It ain't going to, like, you're going to be waiting till like you're never going to get it. So it took me years to figure it out. If you ever have to do a key change, don't do it old school like I do and throw your shoulder into it or climb through the window, because I don't want if you do that, the neighbors are going to see you and it's going to create problems. The secret around this is ask permission to create a duplicate key with a locksmith. Okay. Because you can go fix. So if you talk to Sally Smith at noon, by 2:00, you can have a key in hand, go look at that property. And guess what? You now have control of the property. Well, Rick, how do I do that? Once you just have them send you a text, an email, whatever. And then when you have a locksmith showing up, then when a locksmith shows up, no one will ever question if you're supposed to be at the house. Everybody assumes a locksmith is like, has full permission and everything like that. Well, Rick, what about the cost of that? Guys, it's between $40 and $75 to call a locksmith. It's some of the greatest investment you'll ever make, because once you have that, then you're going to put it on a lockbox. And everybody has to go through you to get into the house. It's probably one of the best insurance policies you can ever have on a house. Don't do what I did when I was younger. Climb through windows, have screwdrivers in your back pocket, put your shoulder into it. You will be spending time explaining to the neighbors or the popo why you're entering a house you don't own. It's a problem. So if you get a locksmith, the thing with the locksmith is they're going to ask you, do you have permission? If you're a good talker, you can have mobile, but you should have permission to get in someone's house. So get it in writing somewhere. Aaron, he's like, I'm struggling to get the key. I go, Aaron, just go get a locksmith and get it done. Put it on a simple locksmith, and now you have control, especially if you guys are like an hour or two away. Go there once and get it done. End your story. I've had actually locksmiths cut the key, put it in a lockbox, and put it on for me. I go, hey, while you're there, can you take some pictures, Mr. Locksmith? They don't like.
I
doing
agree.
that.
So I had somebody say something kind of funny. They said, Zach, why do you tell people to use props? I just saw this comment.
Yeah.
I'm not popping it up. It's stupid. Why do you push PropStream when that data is quote unquote trash? I will tell you this straight up. You could tell me this.
Yeah.
Ready? We've had multiple $100,000 deals from pulling a list on PropStream.
Yeah.
And I'm just straight up like a big high equity list. And we have our filters on PropStream. We just mail it out with an ROS postcard. We make hundreds of thousands. Like, I love it when somebody says, Batch Leads is trash. PropStream's trash.
Yeah.
Deal Machine's trash, Zach. You got to use this guy, this Fiverr guy. Guys, there's two. I've only had two types of people that tell me this company's trash. Are you ready? Number one, you have your own software company. You're just trying to bring someone down.
Yeah.
And number two, this is the funniest part. Like, honestly, that's pretty much the only one. Number two, it's just they're upset. I don't know why. I'm pretty sure the only people that are upset that calls another day is trash because they're here to promote something else. It's like, guys, I appreciate the love and the hate, but like, if you're going to come up here and say PropStream's trash,
show us the proof. I don't want your opinion.
I think people think like, I don't know. Like,
listen, guys, we only recommend stuff we use in our actual business. I've been doing this 20 years. I'm telling you, PropStream and Badge completely replaced ListSource, which I used for almost 12, 13 years.
We make millions of dollars from those software, so we tell you to do that. And
nothing's perfect.
I would love, if you're going to come up here and tell me PropStream's trash, Bilal, I would love to see you show me you make $2 million. You make
show us
at least $2 million of assignment fees you did using your other software thing, and I'd love to do it, guys.
I'll do it, dude. I'll even
broke people are the only people that come up to me and tell me I'm wrong.
Yeah.
And like with our advice on YouTube, the only people that tell me I'm wrong are broke people.
Yeah.
Even the gurus admit that I'm right when I speak on things.
Yeah. So
they know I'm right.
Yeah.
They'll steal my information. The only people that say I'm wrong are broke people. Yeah. And I hate to say it, that's not a disagreement. So like, I'll say, I think, Batch might have a little better skip tracing than the service.
Yeah.
That's an opinion, but like, it's the truth, right? Like it's so funny. And I'm trying to say this as humbly as I can, but like, we can only tell you the stuff that we use.
Yeah.
And if I use the software, and I've used pretty much every software out here, right? It's funny, but like, it's
how cute's that spamming, man? It's like,
I gotta get. I'll do it.
I know.
It takes 5. I literally have to click it. It's fine.
Okay,
I'll hide it for you. But like, guys, I
love
love it, guys. I love the support. With a lot of the support comes the haters, and I love to tell you one thing, guys. Do not comment on the haters if you see them on the chat. They're always going to be on here. Just understand, if they're hating on me, either two things. Either they're trying to sell you something, and that's why they're hating. Or number two, they're just broke. And most likely they're broke. Your guru broke. The haters broke. It's funny. But guys, I'm just letting everybody understand, like,
or somebody heard them.
When you hear something in the comments of anything that we have, please, if you did not hear it out of my mouth or his mouth, it's most likely you need to have a second thought, okay? Just understand that, guys, because they're like, one person said, wholesaling in Ohio is illegal. Someone puts it in the comments, and I have so many comments, can't answer back on it.
Yeah.
Zach told me that this is, I don't care what you hear, unless you hear it from my lips on a live stream and you show me the video, do not believe half these comments. Now, a lot of these comments show legitimate stuff that I say, but if it's something that seems crazy, I want you to understand, guys. We have people DMing you saying, hey, this is Zach. Give me $3,000 of this little coin in this address. And I'll coach you for the next 5 years. Guy, like, just think, like, what, WWZD, what would Zach do? What would Rick do? Would Rick charge me $3,000 for a year? Are you kidding me? Right? You gotta just think that for a moment. We do get all these crazy things. So just FYI, if someone's saying that I'm wrong or I don't know what I'm talking about, just remember they broke, they guru broke, and whatever software there is probably terrible.
But they just don't do it like on our site. So if they don't have something positive they add, like, we try to filter everyone, but it is what it is. So if you guys see it, ignore it. We want to focus on helping you guys with wholesaling. That's what we're here for. And remember, anything we recommend or say, hey, you get a great deal on it, We use it in our company. We actually pay for this stuff. We have our own services with it. We've been using it for years. Honestly, like even the postcard I recommend with you guys on like Mailing Mastery, I did it for years before I even I tested it.
Years.
And it's like, so even with PropStream, I went back and forth. I used ListSource and PropStream and Batch at the same time to figure out which was more effective. Dude, it was like night and day. Now, we're the only people that offer PropStream and Batch because we want to give you guys options, and we love to use as much data
Is it
as
sad
possible.
we're the only ones that do it?
It's crazy. I don't understand. We're like the only persons to go, okay,
I ain't a pro guru.
we want to give you choices. I do not own these.
I'll tell you this, and I'll say this. PropStream, Batch, I'll add Deal Machine on. Those people I do support because their stuff works really well. And lastly, they support the freewholesaling.com movement.
Yeah.
You know, I ain't going to talk for any of them, but all I could say is they support what we do.
Yeah.
And you already know what I say. So appreciate them. And it's kind of fun. So guys, make sure you smash the like button and subscribe. I'm going to do a full dispositions cash buyers video tomorrow. So actually tomorrow, it's just going to be me.
Yeah, we swap
Shocker.
places.
So I'll be teaching you guys all about how to get realtor cash buyers, guys. It's gonna be a big one. It'd be pretty cool because I think that's one severely underdone at all. So hop on tomorrow. Check out freewholesaling.com. This is Zach Ginn signing out.
Rick Ginn signing out.
See you guys.